Hello, we're back. We had a small picnic there, so we are back, and we just had to restart the stream because David was having some problems with his OBS. It wasn't the chicken, don't worry. We still haven't found the chicken though. I don't know whether Cadus has either. But yeah, Forsaken's managed to break his spacebar as well, so God knows what's going on with this poor Reason team. Do you still think Nerd Rage are a bit better? They have a better chance if Forsaken can't jump.
I'm pretty sure, like, I swear Forsaken has, like, he has so much game equipment, he's buying, like, new stuff, like, every couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure. Yes, so I'm sure he has another keyboard somewhere that he can struggle through with. Also, wait, Cadus has a question about the tournament as well. What happens if Reason lose 2-0 to Nerd Rage? How is the tie breaking to be happening?
I can't remember. We had it somewhere. There was definitely some tiebreaker stuff. The first one was head-to-head in the event of a certain a single tiebreak situation. In the event of a three-way tie where they all have a win over the opposing team, then it's round difference that decides it, because everything else was retarded. Hopefully that it won't actually come to that, because that's a weird way of doing it. That's an unfortunate situation where one of the teams goes through based on something as silly as round difference. But that is the situation if a Reason lose 2-0 to Nerd Rage. But in any other situation, we will have a clear 2 victors from this group 1. And I think we're going to be going live fairly shortly. Geddes is just restarting his TF2, and we should be starting to go into the maps.
Wait, no one's on the server. Am I on the right server?
Potentially, I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get some server information as well. Yes, it's just changed over to Gullywash, so that will be our first map, CP Gullywash, final one, and that was Reason's pick. So they're feeling fairly strong on Gully. Do you think do you know anything about Reason on Gullywash, CommanderX?
No.
Because they had some of the players from Epsilon who really enjoyed playing Gullywash, but got absolutely destroyed on it by Froyotech. It'll be interesting to see how the maps actually stand up against each other when it comes to the land situation, because the teams have changed a little bit since the last year, enough for different maps to now be favoured by different teams, but there's still a big deciding factor on the actual maps that are played in a fixture. When you have something like I-55 where it's set maps at the beginning, particularly in the group stages, it can give a bit of a biased impression on which team is better, because certain teams just kind of suck out at certain maps. So interesting to see that Reason have picked Gullywash as their map of choice. I guess it allows them to play a little bit slower, and Nerd Rage won't be too bothered about that, I'm sure, because it allows them to utilize their sniper.
Yeah, but I don't know. Obviously Forsaken can snipe as well, so...
Who would you say is the better sniper between Forsaken and Flippy?
Forsaken, every day of the week. Even on the weekend.
Even on the weekend?
Even on, like, yeah. Man, no, I think Forsaken's sick. I don't think I'm completely unbiased, but Forsaken's the best.
Forsaken is the best gamer ever to lay his hands on a sniper rifle. No, he is. He's pretty fantastic. He was playing at an incredible level at the beginning of the season, I think, particularly when he was playing with what was the team called? It was a Russian team at the beginning of the season, wasn't it?
425.
Yeah. Was he? He was playing for. I don't know. I'm completely lost. I'm having a brain aneurysm.
The season, they had like 3 scouts, and Forsaken was one of them. Like 3 scouts that rotated in because of Kenzie's Ukraine bullshit.
Yes, I remember now. And he picked up the sniper rifle at the beginning of that and was just absolutely obliterating people. And then I don't know. I feel like whenever they're running him, he doesn't seem as impressive as Flippy. I feel like if they ran him full time, I don't know whether he would do as much work as Flippy does. I think perhaps you are a little biased, CommanderX. I would still give it to Flippy.
I'm biased, but I'm also correct. So.
Well, I think we'll see in this matchup, because I imagine that there will be a lot of sniping and counter sniping used in this map, because Nerd Rage like to run it to a lot of the mids. They've even tried running it to Badlands mid, the sniper, and it has worked for them. So it's that kind of thing where all of the it's a really odd situation, because all of the counters to running a sniper rely on the fact that the sniper doesn't hit every single shot. And when you have someone that's got that insane level of DM, it kind of makes it incredibly, incredibly powerful. And you can run it in this normal situations where you wouldn't be able to run it with a mediocre sniper.
Yeah, I think also, like, you have to bear in mind, like, Epsilon, like, lots of the reason players rank Epsilon players, they traditionally don't run a sniper a lot of the time. Cadus, teams Cadus is in, don't really run a sniper much either. Whereas Nerd Rage are more than happy to let, you know, Bull said it before, like, if Flippy wants to snipe, Flippy can snipe. Like, there's no, you know, dispute or anything about it, you know? Like, if Flippy feels like he's having a good day, then he's allowed to snipe full time. Whereas Forsaken snipes a bit more situationally, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And they play a lot slower when they have Forsaken as well. They play they only really seem to run him in situations where they need a pick before they want to push, whereas Nerd Rage will run a sniper in the transitional plays and in the holding situations as well.
I think they're starting a TF2.
They are starting a TF2. Excellent. Well, Nerd Rage lost earlier to Full Tilt on Gullywash 6-2, so they're going to have to pull something big out the bag to be able to perform against Reason Gaming. Let's have a look at our first mid here. We've got some aggression. Bash and Cadis both going down to Stark, though, with some help from Zebasai. Mike's incredibly weak underneath, and these pipes have caught Raymond. Raymond on 10 health. Oh, Rib was so unlucky not to get that frag, but Raymond just about gets out of there. No, he's actually going to get caught by a flanking and sandwiching Zebasai, and that's a full wipe. That's impressive. That was a great mid coming out of Nerd Rage.
Yeah, they like suck one net basically straight away. Like, he just completely showed up Bash at choke. Cadus didn't have a protection, go straight down, and the mid was just over from that. The fact that they were able to catch Raymond on the way out as well, and the rest of the players, it's just sort of like the cherry on top of the cake. And now we're going to have this big old Uber advantage to push into last with.
Let's see where they decide to take it. Bull's staying a long, long way back. They know that they have that huge advantage. They're just getting buffs in position before they commit their medic in there. And it looks like they're going through that Riverside area. Zoob is going to lead it in, and Rib, but they've come up against Bash on Pyro, and Bash is doing so much work. They still can't kill him, even after the Uber charge. But now they're starting to play the point here. Flippy is going to be taking on Captain, actually loses that, but in comes Zoob. He's actually going to trade. That's a really nice play by Captain to be able to take out the fully buffed Zoob. But Bull's just running onto the point, and the Uber charge from Raymond. What a crazy play.
Did you just see Rib kill himself?
No, what did Rib do?
Like, so Raymond baits to the point. Not Raymond, Bull baits to the point, so a good play, right? So Rib goes to sticky him and then like jump down to help him. He just stickies the glass bit in front and then jumps into it and blows it up.
Oh, that's so unfortunate there. I think perhaps if Rib had stayed alive, they would have been able to save that, even after Bash did so much work on Pyro. Zebasai's jumping in, attempting to get the frag, but it's stolen by Flippy there with the body shot. Forsaken and Basher in underneath, but Stark absolutely bosses Bash around. Forsaken is going to Boston Basher up the drop down and going to come up behind the Nerd Rage team. Look at the flank. I know. Look at the flank here from Forsaken. He's going to come in behind everybody here, trying to get some tag onto that, but what a shot from Zoob. Zoob going man mode there, and 3 down from Reason.
Yeah, Zebasai was able to pick off Cadus and Lobby at the same time, and that's just going to open it up. That's twice so far pretty early in this. We've just seen Cadus with no protection whatsoever. Like, players just able to walk at him, and if they can't get some more protection to Cadus, this might be a pretty quick map.
Yeah, they are going to be up against a sniper here. Both of the teams running the sniper, so we're going to see Flippy against Forsaken. Bash gets baited in, though, and surely he must have known that those stickies were there. Rib put them in a very obvious spot, but they just had to get onto Flippy, and the Uber charges have been traded on that top right hand area. Zoob and Stark are gonna get bullied a little bit as Captain tries to prod into Lobby, but still only that Bash pick. But the repush here coming in from Zoob. Zoob trying to get onto Raymond, puts a bit of damage on him, but then changes targets. It's 2 down from each team. The headshot from Flippy onto Mike there is going to do so much work, and Stark gets in onto Cadus. They are just rocking this repush. Fantastic last push there from Nerd Rage. Flippy hitting all of his shots as well, helps them out to no end. And 1-0 the scoreline in favour of Nerd Rage. This is what we saw previously, though. I'm told, as they played against Full Tilt, they obliterated the first round, then lost 4 in a row. So let's see if they can break the curse.
Yeah, Stark playing really well so far, really capitalising on that space made by Flippy as we go into the next mid. It looks like both teams are just taking their time, taking their own sides right now. Zebaside's going to go down early underneath, and this should open up some aggression, but Mike's pretty low, so we're just going to move together across the point as a unit. And Nerd Rage not really willing to risk anything in that fight.
Yeah, they have simply taken the decision to get out of there, and they're going to be stacking things up around that choke area, but the push looks like it's going to be coming from the opposite side. It's only really Mike and Forsaken positioned around that choke. Everyone else, including the heals, again a fairly easy entry onto Big Door, but now Rib has rotated, putting a bit of spam damage around, so they've bullied Reason back to a more default holding position. But with no snipers on the board to break this stalemate, I think we will be seeing a situation where they try and push in through the Big Door. It's much easier.
Yeah, it looks like they want to take Forsaken, maybe going behind. He's actually caught by the stickies of Rib. He might just about get out of there. Going to need an arrow from Raymond, and he will get out, but Reason does seem really it's only Rib sticky in, but they're really unsure about going through, and now they're just rotating back around to choke. I don't know if they're just going to choose to butt heads with the pocket soldier. Cadus trying to find that entry damage. He maybe catches his scout down to 16 HP up top.
Such good movement by Stark. Like it's so excellent. He just ran into a sticky trap and instantly got blasted up. Manages to surf so that he doesn't take any fall damage up on the top there on 16 health, and gets healed up. So nobody's lost their lives as yet. Flippy's gone all the way back and changed to Sniper though, and now he's getting ready. The 2 frags though at choke there. Mike and Cadus both going down. This has set things up perfectly for Nerd Rage. But Flippy perhaps wishing that he hadn't switched over to the Sniper, but Raymond's managed to drop his pocket and then get forced. This is disastrous here for Reason.
I think Captain now wishes Flippy didn't swap over to Sniper. And Forsaken stuck behind, low HP. He's going to get taken down. And now they're just going to be able to rock this full Uber advantage. They come in Big Door straight away, just putting the pressure on, getting Flippy an angle. They can delay Nerd Rage for a little bit here, but not really for that long. It's going to be up to Mike or someone maybe to try and get in and get the force, because they've got a lot of ground on Big Door now for not a lot. Mike is making his move behind them. He's gotten behind everyone. He's going to start one-on-one in a scout. Might be able to clean up the frag here, but I think Nerd Rage are going to start sending some players back to help Zebasai, who has now made that switch over to scout, and now we're going to pick up CP2 for free, and Mike is stranded all the way behind.
Yeah, Mike's not going to be able to take the fight here against Stark on second, so he's just going to attempt to get to last as quickly as he possibly can in order to help out the rest of his team. But they are actually getting cap time on the point as the Uber charge comes in already. Zebasai's getting so much cap time on there. They've baited Raymond down onto it, and that's a quick 2-0. Wait.
Yeah, they baited Cadus had stickies all around the point, but I think with Zebasai the scout, he was able to bait the debt on them, so the stickies were like useless ultimately. And that's 2-0.
It is indeed. The next mid fight is going to be pretty much the same. No sniper shenanigans going to be happening, but Zebasai's taking a ton of damage, does go down, but has managed to find that frag onto Cadus. But all of the position here in favour of Reason, but look at that, Captain gets obliterated. This is looking better here for Nerd Rage, but Forsaken barrels in there and gets the pick on Rib. We're now down to a 2v3. And Bash is not going to want to take this one, but thankfully Raymond manages to get out with a big disadvantage actually. Look at the differences in Uber charge.
I didn't see exactly what happened, but he clearly must have been separated for quite a bit. I don't know how much of a read Nerd Rage are going to have on this. They might just push anyway, you know what I mean, but they also might wait for Rib, which will actually give Raymond time to build his Uber up. And it looks like Reason are just going to bluff it, like they're having Raymond come outside of lobby. Yeah, and it's not going to matter ultimately.
I don't think anybody from Nerd Rage was in a position to get a read on that as well, so the Uber's going to be equal. It looks like Captain wants to try and trade this with a solo through the choke, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. Mike's there to back him up as well, trying to put down that double soldier spam onto any target foolish enough to poke their heads around the choke. And Cadus has got stickies everywhere as well, but both of these teams just going to be exchanging a little bit of spam, seeing if they can break it. But here comes Zebasai. He's in. He's going to try and get here onto Raymond. He's done so well to actually get all the way in, so deep. But none of his rockets connected apart from one beyond the grave, and Raymond had absolutely no trouble with that. It was really nice movement to be able to get all the way in there without actually getting killed. He just whiffed the rockets a bit, and now Mike is going to try something of his own. He's underneath, actually getting it out through drop down at the same time as the Ubercharge comes in there. Zoob almost dropped by Bull, but is actually going to have a slightly better Ubercharge. But look at these players behind. Forsaken running rampant underneath is going to be distracting everybody, but Reason not taking advantage of the fact that it's only Zoob looking forwards.
Yeah, Mike's actually coming from lower now, going to try and get on, but Medic, he should know. Cannot get the last rocket off, and Bull will survive, and now they're going to turn us straight into a push. Bull picks up a health pack, so he's back to full health. And there's a scout behind as well, onto Raymond. Stark's going to clean up a bunch of people, and we just get all 3 frags there. Reason just not adjusting their positioning anywhere near quick enough after losing those 2 players on middle.
Yeah, they couldn't possibly do that, and oh, there's the headshot. Rib taken down instantly, and they may have pushed this one a little too fast. No, they're actually... Oh my goodness! That's an insane snipe shot. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, it's really possible. It's very, very possible that Forsaken is the best sniper in the world, but I mean, he just couldn't quite finish off the last player on the point. It would have been an absolute miracle if he'd managed to do it, but such things are not beyond the realms of possibility. As Zebasai going to go aggressive again, but Cadus is expecting it this time. Bash isn't, though. Mike's going to follow up on it, see if he can get the trade kill. Does actually lose his life in the process, though. And Nerdrage looking good once again on a mid, but it's 4v4. If these people can group up. No, Forsaken mistiming his aggression with the rest of the team, and is Raymond going to get caught in the choke point? Oh, actually, Nerdrage deciding not to go aggressive on that. I'm surprised they didn't try and catch Raymond out, but they're content just to take the mid, not commit too hard to that when they don't have the Ubercharge, and set up in a similar situation where they have control of mid and are attempting to have an Uber v Uber through choke, but Forsaken has his sniper rifle out, and that's going to be spanner to their plans.
Yeah, there seems to be some real breakdowns in communication across the Reason roster so far tonight. Like, there's just been a handful of times. I think Captain did it last mid, Forsaken did it that mid. Like, they make the aggressive play, great, even situation, initiate. But it's just completely mistimed with the combo, like the flank and the combo. We see it in these post-Uber transitions as well. As I say, actually, the bomb comes in. Raymond's going to dodge 2, but he will have to pop to Zebasai. And Nerdrage are going to be ready to push this straight back in, getting the big early pop off at choke. A player has jumped behind, though, to try and distract him, but Raymond's probably caught in. Actually, that soldier at choke, Captain's doing a great job distracting them there, saving his medic. And Mike's trying to hold close to the choke, and there's more players behind from Reason, and they might actually be able to hold on to this point because of it.
Cadus was so far behind, and the fact that they've been able to hold on to choke thus far was just because he was so far behind, drawing 2 players back. But now that he's dead and Forsaken's going to follow, Reason really cannot hold on to that choke point any longer. They don't have that distraction factor, and they don't have the spam ability, so they're going to drop back to last. They're going to have their Ubercharge, though, and given the defense previously, when they didn't have the Ubercharge, I'd say they're in a really good position to hold on to this and perhaps push out. Bash's Pyro has yet to properly be dealt with by Nerdrage, and that's really going to scupper them in Uber v Uber.
Hold on, sorry, I'm entering a raffle.
Yeah, of course. We do have that viewer giveaway raffle thingamajiggy going on right now as Flippy gets sent to the spawn queue by a sticky trap from Cadus. They're probably just going to rotate him onto Sniper and see if they can get a pick. But yeah, there's that viewer raffle going on, so please enter that. If you type !raffle in the chat, you can enter in. There's a ton of kill streak kits and other juicy goodies in there. And in the meantime, Cadus is just spamming those loose cannons into Big Door, attempting to catch Zoob.
Look how much ground Forsaken's got up top right now. He's got like 1 scout who has left him at possibly the worst time. But he had so much space up there. He's been pushed out of it now, but it's actually worked into like a reverse pick on Zebasai. And Reason are doing such a good job with this forward hold. They've taken so much ground.
Got double donk. Bull just got double donk down to 11 health. He's just gone down to 1. This is insane, but nobody could...
He held it.
He held it after a double donk and then went down to 1 health, and he holds it. That is insane! And that's just put his team in such a better situation than if he'd popped that in that horrific circumstance. That's a fantastic, fantastic medic play.
On the other side of it, though, I was really impressed with that forward hold. Like, it literally, especially with Nerdrage being on Big Door, it literally meant they couldn't make any kind of play. Like, they didn't have anywhere to go in. They were completely shut out of it. And now it looks like we're just going to get a sniper stalemate now. Forsaken moving in. Dueling it out with Flippy up top. Mike's already gone in behind and taken off Stark, and that's going to weaken the flank. But Force now comes in from Captain. Captain's super high in the air, gets body shot once, gets a mid-air arrow from Raymond to save him. He will not get out of there, but he bought himself so much time. Mike's now coming in for the repush. Cadus is walking in with these donks. Ribs super low. Zoo will win the soldier fight, but meanwhile Bash is just coming to clean everything up at choke. He's going to get the demo and the medic. Now comes the late aggression from the Nerd Rage soldiers. They pick up one, but Zoop's now super weak on the point, but Stark arrives on the respawn. And somehow Nerd Rage has come out on top on that fight.
Yeah, the aggression with Mike just wasn't quite timed with the rest of his team. Again, potentially communication being a little bit of a problem. It felt like they had an excellent collapse there, but then just as Zebasai came out from the lobby, he managed to get onto Forsaken, and then Stark came in and cleaned up a lot of the players. And Stark really is a powerhouse player for Nerd Rage, and if they can take him out of the fight, I think Reason will have a much better chance at winning these team fights that it looks like they should be able to win. Oh, Zebasai's up top here, juggled up in the air, and air shot by Captain. Captain bossing Zebasai around there a little bit, and Zebasai's not going to be able to get anything with that hiding spot. Raymond's got about a 30% Uber advantage. I don't know whether they even know that they should know that they have it actually, because it was because Bull died in the previous team fight. So, but it's ticking. Bull's on 99%, and he's gonna have his Uber charge, and they may have just committed to a terrible situation here. Reason.
Yeah, if they're getting chased out into the lobby, it looks like Raymond will be safe. They do lose Captain though. There is a player threatening a back cap, sort of underneath, but everyone's still there. He's just gonna have to try and buy time right now, Bash. But I think because Raymond did survive, but he fell out by himself, so he wasn't building throughout all of that, so the Uber advantage wasn't as big as it maybe could have been. And now we see a defensive spy play coming out of Zebasai.
Defensive spy, engineer, and heavy. This is a strange defense, but let's see how it works out for them. I'm watching Zebasai as he infiltrates the enemy territory. He can see Raymond. He's got him in his sights. He's dropping down behind him. Actually takes a frag on the scout instead.
What a
and
stat
redisguises.
What a stat padder. Great chance to get the
Why?
medic. And, you know, really open up a great opportunity for his team. Or he could just pad his damage with a backstab on a scout.
It really was a complete misplay, I think. Why would you go for that scout stab? You're going to die straight afterwards. It doesn't even matter whether you get that frag
and now Forsaken's come back on sniper. You just helped him out. Like.
Essentially, yeah, Zebasai playing for the other team here. But Forsaken is going to play the off-class of his own. And he's going to be coming up against a bit of an odd defense, but a lot of spam. How does he dodge that? He does a little hop at the end of it, just over the top of a rocket, and survives on 20 health, but he's going to get another buff and go in for another pick. It's not going to help them against the sentry, but if he can get a frag on Stark, running Pyro there, or a frag onto Rib or Bool, he's going to make a big, big difference in the next super fight.
That shot. No way. He's trying to do, you know, the glitch shot where you can shoot through the wall.
That's ridiculous. Why is he attempting?
Oh my god, he baited a kill! Cadus is snickies! Surely that cannot have worked.
That's unbelievable! Forsaken goes for that ridiculous shot, and Stark and Zoo both baited into the sticky trap. And this is going to cue the repush here. Only 3 players left alive. They have the sentry to deal with, but Mike takes that one down. Bash is getting cap time, draws everybody else to the point. The spawn's actually coming in though from Nerd Rage, but it's just too much, I think. Cadus should be able to finish this. No! Stark and Zoob still alive on such weak health. Oh! Raymond gets the frag on Zoob and stands on the point. What an insane push.
That was like the stupidest shot he could have possibly gone for. But it turns out now Zoob and Stark were the real idiots in that play.
Yeah.
Walking into like the world's most clear as day sticky trap.
But then Reason almost took too long to push that. And, you know, Stark and Zoob got their respawns. They almost held it. Zebasai, again, going so aggressive and manages to pick up Cadus. Again, this is the same situation we've seen quite a few times, and it buys Nerd Rage so much presence on the mid as well. But Captain comes in, securing the frag onto Bool. And they're going to back off to their medic and play it slightly more slowly. But the heal advantage will end up reigning supreme unless they can get onto Raymond, and that's exactly what Flippy's trying to do now. But Raymond again defending himself. Fantastic arrows from this guy.
Stark's underneath. I don't know if they've seen him. He's going for the medic, but Forsaken turns around, spots him out. But now he's walked into a soldier. Zebasai comes through at choke, and they do get the pick between them. But the big difference for me on that middle was Mike and Captain jumping at the same time with that aggression, picking off the medic and just setting up for, you know, the clean-up with heals. And that's the first time we've really seen a mid where they've had that sort of synced up aggression, and it worked so much better for them.
It absolutely did, because Nerd Rage had all the position as well, so they had to jump into those players, and they still managed to make it work. So, yeah, great stuff from Mike and Captain, and they need to be doing more of that. Oh, Forsaken! For some reason, miles ahead of his team, still hasn't got the memo to back out of there, but there is definite backcap potential. And people from Nerdwidge will be recognizing that. I'm not sure whether they're going to send anyone behind. It looks like Mike's hiding in the drop down, actually. He's going to be able to come up here, and he's attempting to get onto them, but doesn't quite manage it. Did a lot of damage to Zoob, but couldn't find any damage onto Bool. He was looking for that frag. Stark goes down there, and they're still going to try and push in with it because they have that 50% advantage. Captain going to go for the double bomb straight onto Bool. He's whiffing the rockets! Bool's dodging and holding on to it on 11 health. Bool has such big balls. It's unbelievable. His medicing is crazy.
Oh my god. Forsaken's just killed both soldiers right now, and it's so hard for Nerd Race to take this fight. Once the first player gets picked by a sniper, you can't apply as much pressure, and Forsaken just follows that up with another soldier kill. And now they're actually Ubered into block, and this is a devastatingly poor Uber. They're not going to be able to get anything out of it. In fact, Forsaken's already walked in at choke. He was so confident in how bad that Uber would be. But they seem to have overextended here. They've just lost 2 people. They might even lose a scout as well. Bash trying to find the final frag.
Great rockets from Zoob to double airshot Captain there as he came in. And this is looking disastrous from Reason. For some reason, Nerd Rage managed to bait them back into a terrible situation. And Raymond giving them the jukes on the cliff that is eventually going to go down. And Nerd Rage come out on top of that, even with that shoddy Uber charge.
Yeah, I don't know, like Nerd Rage's Uber was horrendous, and then I don't think it would be possible, but Reason found a way to have an even worse Uber coming off the back of that.
Yeah, they threw their players in one at a time.
Dropping 2 players, then the soldier gets dropped in the Uber. Bash finds himself taking like a weird 1v2, but can't finish off either of the kind of low players. And yeah, they just lose 4, and there's just Cadus left trying to do what he can. And obviously, you know, 2 versus 6, super deep, you are going to both get picked off. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty standard play from Nerd Rage coming on to this last push, just taking it up Riverside. Be interesting to see if they want to run a scout this time after their previous problems with the Pyro, and it looks like Flippy is going to go in, and the other scout as well in with them. And they're getting donked around all over the place. Bash just go down quicker than he has done previously, but they just trade 1-for-1 right now, but they're trying to stack the point. Cadus has it sticky. They need some more frags here, really, do Reason, and they're just slowly but surely being picked off now by the scout. So hard when those scouts in that slight high ground on the heels on them, and they're just peppering Mike down. That's 4-1.
It is indeed. Nerd Rage have come really strong out of the gates on this one, which I believe was Reason's pick. Nerd Rage lost to Full Tilt earlier on, 6-2 on Gullywash. But they've reversed what's going on here. They're now 4-1 in the lead, and the pressure is really on Reason to be able to get through this. Oh my god, what crisp rockets onto Rib right at the beginning. Reason doing the exact thing that Nerd Rage have done for the past 3 mids, and it's working out even better for them. Nerd Rage recognize the fact that they've lost the mid though, and do not commit to it in the slightest. Look at this, the fantastically fast aggression, but Zebasai somehow surfing through the air, propelled by hit scan damage, lands right on Cadus's head and takes him down. That's going to hurt them a little bit as they push forward here.
Yeah, they have built about a 10% advantage, so it'll be interesting to see if they're really in a position to go. It doesn't look like they will, but it looks like they might try it anyway. This could be a mistake from them going into the fight without Cadus. Mike whiffs his first jump, but goes in, gets reflected back, double! Flippy hits both reflected rockets and just destroys Mike. I imagine Reason are going to slow it down now and just go for a more standard pick-based play.
Yeah, what would you do if you were in that position now?
Well, first I would airshot that soldier going behind me and kill him, and then I'd just push off that pick.
The classic. The classic.
Mike actually came back on heavy as well, so yeah, they're just going to get the Ubers out of the way and repush with Mike. I quite like that. You don't see that much anymore. You used to see it loads, especially on Granary, like the heavy repush.
Yeah, absolutely, and he used to run that quite a lot on Gullywash as well.
Yeah, so this should be pretty much straightforward, as long as they can force the Uber, not get delayed by the Pyro, and maybe kill the sentry as well if they're lucky. They should know about the sentry, like Flippy's not exactly been very secretive with his... Not Flippy, sorry. Stark hasn't been very secretive with his positioning. So they should be expecting it, and that is just in the standard spot. But just going to clear stickies now. They're not going to try and go from that shutter door, but they've got a pyro and stickies, and I don't even know if Captain has his shotgun equipped. Bash is going with them now. They're really thinking about this one. Here they go. They're going to Uber in from the far left side. They're getting reflected away. They're going to really struggle to get the force out. Raymond's also been disconnected. They do get the pop out. They trade 1 for 1. That's not the worst. As long as they can get in a sentry pretty early in the repush, they should be alright. But Rib's done a great job of locking out Riverside. Stopping that heavy coming back in. Cadis is trying to get on the sentry now. Here comes the heavy. The sentry's still not down though. Will take out Bash. And now they're just being forced back. Cadis and Raymond splitting, going different ways for a slight second as well. But they should be okay since Rib's going to jump straight into that ceiling. And now Forsaken's the only player alive. It looks like we're going to keep the chase going actually. There's only a scout and a sniper on the floor, and now it's Flippy going up top above them. But they should be pretty safe, in theory. Yeah, respawning soldier's going to clean that one up.
And my TF2 crash, I'm just getting back into the SCV now, but I enjoyed your radio cast because I couldn't see what was going on, so I'm just trying to get up to date with what's happening. It looks like Nerd Rage have managed to pick up 2 of those players that were aggressive on the mid, but there's a fully charged body shot onto Bool, and he goes down, so that changes the dynamic of what's going on completely here, because they have the Ubercharge up here as well, Reason Gaming, and there's no aggression coming out from Nerd Rage. I think they're just hiding, expecting the aggression to slowly come out of Reason, and they're going to attempt to get that force from Raymond.
They got Flippy on Sniper as well, so I like that play, not just going all in. Do you know what I mean? Playing around the Sniper, making it difficult for Reason. They do come in unseen from underneath, so it won't even actually be that difficult for them. Going to pick up Stark on the flank, neutralise that back cap threat. But Zebasai was hiding the entire time. He's jumped down now, he's trying to find a way to get onto Raymond, but Zebasai just sort of mistimed that. Raymond was sort of tucked away in that cubbyhole when he came through the door, and they're going to catch Flippy on the way out as well. Now Nerd Rage just have to go to last, but I imagine Reason aren't going to give them that much breathing room as they have the full charge already.
And Flippy's going to be down for this last push as well. Yeah, 30% Uber advantage. They're going to be taking it through that lower entrance, I think, leading with Captain and Cadis, but Captain's so weak. They took a something there. Was that another reflect? Bool surfing away on 4 health, eventually dies there. That's 2 down for them, their pocket and their medic, but the heavy now, the respawn of Flippy is going to be dishing out a large amount of damage. Reason going to have to just back off, get their heals. What a shot from Flippy! Forsaken doing the crazy amount of work here. Just going to whip out the SMG as well. Raymond gives him a hand. Insane sniping from Forsaken once again. Great stuff.
Yeah, just absolutely, like, I'm pretty sure they would have taken that fight anyway with heals, but it was a little bit, it was kind of on edge, because Flippy only had like 150 health left, but there was even less health on all the Reason players, so, you know, you get unlucky and suddenly Flippy's got like a couple of picks, but Forsaken just seals the deal.
Absolutely, and now it's 4-2. 4-2, 3.5 minutes left, yeah, like you said, and the aggression not really coming out early from anybody here, but Zebasai's going to be the first one to go down. Bash doing a lot of damage to him on the floor. Captain attempts to make something happen, but Stark's going to be coming in behind, I think. He's kind of just hovering around there, but Mike is keeping him out as the super aggressive jump here from Cadis. He's only on 10 health and gets taken down by Flippy, but is setting himself up for the rest of the team to go aggressive. Captain defending his medic from the scouts as well, and this is well-timed aggression and really nice forwards and backwards action from Reason. Or the dodge of the air shot there, but Zebasai will eventually go down. Cadis is a long way behind everybody as well, but he might be taking the 1v1 versus Zoob. He's called the location of Zoob, hanging around at that choke, and they might just leave him alive.
Yeah, Zoob's actually now behind Cadis. Cadis is sort of forced into his cubbyhole. Someone should probably come and save it, and actually Zoob's just going to go even further behind. So if anything, I think Cadis saw that as well, so we know Zoob is a mile behind. But pick on Stark at the front as well, as the Ubers come in. And this should be a pretty clean push for Reason. They've got that time on the point. Cadis is sticky in it. It's just a matter of time now. 2 minutes left. Yeah,
we've got a game again. It was looking like they were down and out, 4-1 down with 8 minutes remaining, but Reason have picked up 2 very quick rounds off the back of great mid fights. So if they can convert another mid here, they could well get the round and tie it up to 4-4. They're coming aggressively. Mike's going super aggressively, actually just going to pressure Rib back a little bit. Forsaken's going right into his face, but misses the shot. Oh, but Captain's following up, and this is some great aggression out of the Reason team. There goes Bool as well. Fantastic stuff from all of Reason here, really bringing the pressure. Zoob's the last one left alive. He's trying to get onto Raymond, but can't quite hit that last rocket. Raymond surfing away with 98 health left, and Stark's already run all the way back and got onto Engineer. He's going to start building up a sentry because they know that they have to hold this for a minute and a half now. They don't even want to push. Nerd Rage are going to be going full turtle mode here in an attempt to defend this Uber versus non-Uber.
Yeah, I like the setup they have, but also it's the exact same, you know what I mean? Position for position, it's the exact same defense they always put up, so Reason should be expecting most of the stuff that's coming out, so that should give them a pretty good advantage coming in. They're going to Uber and a Soldier, not interested in that sentry apparently, they don't learn from previous rounds. Forsaken's going to go down trying to get onto the point, still no pressure on this sentry, it's even going to be healed up by Stark. They've got a couple of players low as they try and come through water, but they're all just going to get cleaned up. Mike is valiantly trying to fight everyone in a sentry. But him and Raymond are just going to have to fall out, but they should still have time for another Uber charge.
Yeah, they will just about have time for another Uber. They might have to start pushing just before they get it, actually. And they really can't afford to be exchanging frags now, really. Mike will actually respawn in time, I think, but if anybody else dies, they're not going to be in this last push. Only 20 seconds remaining. 21, 20, and the pressure for Reason now is starting to mount. They're going down this riverside area and pushing from the balcony. They're trying to put their heels in a position where they can get onto the point, but that sentry is going to be doing so much work, and the Uber charge coming out of Bull to just stand on the point in the last 5 seconds is just going to be too much. Mike. The spy not going to work either, and it's Nerd Rage picking up that first map 4-3.
That was pretty close considering the roster Reason are running.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there were a lot of mistakes. It seemed like they were less cohesive as a team. But when they were pushing the lasts as well, it's like in that last situation where they have a full Uber charge advantage and Nerd Reg have had all the time in the world to set up, you don't need to be pushing in straight away. Like, they could have taken the opportunity to look at the defense that Nerd Rage were putting up and attempting to figure them out and have a plan to go into it, whereas what they actually did was just Uber in Captain, and he's going to just be useless against a heavy and a sentry. You need your demo man in that Uber charge, and you also need to know the locations of where everything is.
He didn't look either. Do you know what I mean? When Captain jumped in, he just jumped straight for the medic, like, you know what I mean? Like, he had no idea it was there. When,
yeah.
You know, like, they're not being secretive about the sentry. He's not, like, building the sentry and then hiding in spawn or something, trying to make it a bit of a, you know, surprise factor. He's just standing there spamming shotguns at a choke with his wrench out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems weird that they weren't more switched on to it, especially towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely, especially seeing as they were doing the same thing again. I mean, if in doubt, you kind of assume that the team is running the same defense that you've seen previously, and they did manage to beat it, actually, with the full Uber charge advantage in the previous attempt to get the score to 4-3. So for them not to be expecting that or to approach it in a different way that wasn't as successful is a little bit odd, but either way, that is what happened. We'll have a look at the logs as well, just to see the full picture here. I'm going to sort by damage, of course, because it's the most important stat. And Captain at the top of that, Zebasai behind him, interestingly, who is playing the roaming soldier for that guy.
No,
the stats.
Ignore that.
The stats
870 damage for that scout kill. That's all he wanted to do, didn't he?
Yeah,
Put himself
absolutely.
above Mike.
Yeah, that's what you said. It's the stat padding coming out from Zebasai. The 870 damage spy play knocks him. Where would he have been? He would have been the lowest damaging soldier. So yeah, we're not going to give that to Zebasai, surely. Both of the demo men not getting particularly large amount of kills, which you normally expect, but Kadis dying a little more often. He was getting picked on quite a few of the mid fights by Zebasai's aggression. I think Rib died on one of them as well to Mike, but it seemed like Kadis was really struggling a little bit on Gullywash, just staying alive.
Yeah, I don't think it's his fault. I think it's his team's fault. Like, I don't think Case was doing anything particularly different than he normally does.
No, no.
But he was just left a lot more exposed.
Yeah, I guess
it is the scout.
Yeah. It is the scout's job in that situation, because Cadis is playing the same thing where he goes through the choke and he's putting down damage on the big door, which is the absolute best thing to do as a demoman, because it puts so much pressure on the other team. And he's then dropping into his own valley in order to be in a much safer position, in order to get the heals coming from the big door. They're not coming from choke, so he has to drop down to the heals. So what he needs in that situation, like, he should be much safer there than playing from choke. So there's nothing that he's doing wrong. The problem is whichever scout is supposed to be playing either on that left hand side or around the point wasn't able to deny or put any pressure onto Zebasai when he was going aggressive.
Like, no offense to Bash, like, obviously he doesn't play much anymore, and obviously he's going into like a pretty top tier game, you know what I mean, just sort of coming straight off the bench. But he missed a lot of shots today, like, especially compared to how many Happy Cool hit, so I think that left him weak.
Let's take a look at what the stats say about the sniper v sniper as well. You were right, Forsaken is the greatest. Look at the headshots, 10 headshots there compared to Flippy's 3. He did play it for 5 extra minutes, but even so, Forsaken was doing so much work when he switched over to sniper. It's odd because I think Nerd Rage previously just had a monopoly on it. You know, they absolutely had the monopoly on a fantastic sniper, and it gave them so much room, so much flexibility to control and dictate the pace of the play. But then when it's turned around on them, and suddenly Reason have a fantastic sniper, I don't think they play it in the same way whatsoever. The way that they utilize their snipers is completely different, but the sheer fact that they're up against another fantastic sniper, who is really the only other player who would be a good sniper at I-55, in my opinion. Like, I can't think of anybody else who really snipes at anywhere near that level on any of the other teams. It's only really Reason and Nerd Rage that have that in their back pocket to pull out, and it's a huge wild card.
I think some of the differences as well, because this Forsaken pickup has come quite late in the game in terms of I-55 preparations. Like, for the entire season, Nerd Rage haven't had to worry about it. Maybe against 425 when Kenzie sniped or something, but you know what I mean. It's not the sort of game they're going to worry too much about. Whereas Reason, especially Epsilon as well, like the former Epsilon players, Nox, Mike, they never had like a main sniper, a guy who would snipe a lot. So all these players have a lot of experience playing versus good snipers. Whereas on Nerd Rage, like Zebasai's played with Jukebox, Rib as well with Jukebox. They're always been in the team with the great sniper. Same with Bull and Tech being with Flippy. It's just not as much. Not that they don't know what to do, but it's just not as natural. It doesn't, you know what I mean? When in like the heat of a moment, it's not a natural instinct to know how to pressure the sniper. Like you see sometimes from Nerd Rage, like someone will make a conscious effort to go for it, but there's not that constant pressure that you see when Reason try and pressure out a sniper.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that a lot of the players on Nerd Rage are used to playing with a good sniper, because Stark, of course, is a fantastic sniper. When he used to play Scout back in the day, before he had some shenanigans on Soldier and then switched back to the Scout role, he used to snipe quite a lot. Of course, he doesn't in this team really, because he's so good at Scout and they already have a better sniper on the team, so it doesn't really make sense for Stark to be sniping on Nerd Rage, but he's used to playing that role. Zebasai and Rib have played with Jukebox before and really know how to utilize him on sniper. They used to play him in a little bit of the same way that that Reason play Forsaken. It was just kind of something that they could pull out, but they never ran it full time, and it was never, you know, they never had this thing where they're switching the roamer off to Scout or something like that and changing their lineup so completely to utilize a sniper in a full-time situation. And I think that is really one of the most interesting things about Reason, is the ability that they have for all of these players to play multiple classes, and therefore they're able to do things like have Flippy play sniper for longer periods of time and still have those two scouts.
I'm surprised we didn't see that more on Gullywash, to be honest. Like Zebasai, I think only had like 1 life on Scout.
Yeah. I think it's something that you will see at I-55 a lot, especially against the American teams. That's my prediction. I think they'll be running that a ton just to see how they react to it. Maybe just in the knockouts. Maybe they'll save it. But we have gone live anyway. This is our second map of Reason versus Nerd Rage. It's Sunshine, good old Sunshine. So let's go to our first mid. I'm watching Bash take a ton of damage. He's now going to tank some heals as Zoob goes aggressive onto Cadus. And there is our first frag, really. Zoob takes down Cadus at the same time as Stark gets destroyed as well. And they're actually running Zebasai on Scout and Stark on Soldier now, which is really strange. But as I said, one of the massive pros for this team is that they are all pros and they can play multiple classes. They managed to swat the fly that was aggressing them there of who was that? Was that Bash that was trying to get onto Bull just at the end of that fight, but Bull holds onto his supercharge and Raymond's managed to back off.
So Stark is pretty good roaming Soldier on Sunshine middles, like particularly good, right?
Yes.
So that's one theory. The other theory is Zebasai's trying to roam on a map he doesn't particularly like, that he has to think about more because it's new. And Zebasai just said, fuck this map, I can't roam on this map. And made Stark do it. That's
yeah,
theory
it's
2.
Possible.
Or somewhere in between.
I mean, theory 3 is just that maybe Stark was feeling he wasn't hitting his shots or something. Look at Stark! He's in so... that was insane! That was some kind of crazy double jump ramp slide thing, and then got airshot by Mike as he came back down. I'm not sure quite what... Well, I know what he was attempting to do. He was trying to get in onto Raymond, but that was an extravagant way of doing it. There's there's one that you can try and emulate, Shadowburn.
Now we see, again, I like this from Reason, they're sort of moving to a forward hold, like getting Forsaken some good position. I much prefer this to sort of more of a straightforward, you know what I mean, like we have one pick push, a more gradual, measured approach. As we do see Stark actually come back on Spy, and he looks like he's moving in lower. I imagine they'll probably be expecting something like this.
I'm not sure whether they'll be expecting a Spy particularly. I think they'll be expecting a Sniper, if anything, because Stark obviously can snipe, and then they do have both of those scouts of Flippy and Zebasai, but they do seem to be checking behind them a little bit. Bash just keeps having a little glance behind, and Stark's just trying to pick the opportune moment, running that Cloak and Dagger so he can wait as long as he possibly wants to.
Cadus is going to hear this of Young Cloaks now. I'm pretty certain Cadus will hear it. Maybe not now.
Oh yeah, he's got a decent opportunity to uncloak, but Raymond's so far away, so he had the opportunity. Oh, but now Raymond has just come within juicy territory. He uncloaks. He's in behind him. He gets the drop. He gets the double stab, and Captain goes down as well.
That was so good.
Insane spy plays. That was fantastic stuff from Stark there. He's going to come up behind Bash as well, but it's just going to be too late. That was fantastic. What a beautifully patient play, and he gets the reward in the end. 1-0 the score in favor of Nerd Rage.
Can I just make a quick reference to Zebasai's spy play where he just swung at the first thing he saw and it had a back?
Exactly, it's such a difference. It's such a difference playing with patience as Spy there, and that it rewarded them perfectly. Onto our second mid though, and Cadus is trying to tag that scout and does get a lot of damage onto Zebasai actually. Forsaken's doing try and chase the frag, actually gets it and manages to get out without Zoob getting that return kill, so good stuff by him. But Stark's pressuring in that cafe area. Cadus has gone down as well, and Zoob's after Raymond. The bomb in by Stark as well is going to finish that frag off. Zoob and Stark playing excellently together, and now Bull really has that heal advantage as well. Captain and Forsaken are going to have to try and collapse on these people and kill them while Stark's nowhere to be seen, and I think Stark bailed at just the wrong time there.
Yeah, it looks like Cadus bluffed going forward with the health and ended up being caught out because that soldier got straight on him. It looked pretty good from Nerd Rage from that point on, but good cleanup from the soldiers who had gotten behind and then came back in. And now
Stark's delaying them forever, and actually trades with Captain.
Mike, that's his name. I know that guy. Was all the way in the enemy team's lobby as well. So yeah, sort of solo plays coming out, and we might just see like a rematch of the mid right now. Reason only getting about half cap time, and at a player disadvantage, not even going to take the fight. They do get Flippy on the way in, and they're going to have a spawn in there pretty soon. I imagine when their soldier gets here, they might consider going straight back in, denying that cap again.
It looks like Forsaken's going to be coming in behind here. He's got straight onto Bull, hits him with one shot and goes down to 50 health, and Bull knows that it is punch time, and he pops off that uber charge, but Raymond is nowhere to be seen. They're not going to be able to use this supercharge to get onto Raymond, and he's going to be able to push out to defend if they try and get any cap time as well. Ribs putting those stickies up to defend the high ground, but Mike and Captain jump over them. They're trying to get onto him. Raymond's dropped down to 70 health and Stark's in onto him, but doesn't actually land that last rocket. The ramp denying him the splash. Oh, Raymond catches a bit of a roller there as well, but He's still going to be pretty okay. They have managed to drop Bash and Cadus in the meantime, but they've replied with 2, now 3 frags of their own, so things are still going pretty well here for Reason. They're deciding not to commit their Uber to it, instead just baiting Nerd Rage into throwing a few players in and trading the frags. But in the end, the Uber charge advantage will reign supreme, apart from Flippy has whipped up the sniper skills of his own. He's going to show Forsaken how it's done.
They've distracted everyone, like, they all rushed Cafe to block out the sniper and now allowed the rest of the Nerd Race team to come in at choke, and Flippy's going to hit another one. The Ubers are traded, but this Uber fight's already over with those 2 picks from Flippy. They're going to chase so hard right now as well. Raymond's got 1 rocket on him, he's still trying to dance out, there's a soldier above him as well. He will go down, such big aggression, but Cadus is going to clean up too with the pipes, and the soldier's still fighting now as well. Mike trying to get onto Rib, but he is forced into the low ground, but Bash comes in. Just a pure DM fight right now. Bash is going for it, but Mike's gone to get the health back, so Bash can't overextend here. And Mike's actually coming up behind. Confident play from Mike, jumping into middle to take on 3 people.
Nice rockets from Stark though to completely mutilate him as he went for the high ground. Stark dodging the air shot from Mike. He would have never lived that one down. And now Flippy's taking the position on the high ground. They're still running that sniper. Forsaken is not. Oh, he's just switched actually. He is now going to be running the sniper, so it's sniper v sniper. And there was an angle onto Raymond there. Just go, oh my god, wow, Raymond just poking his head out and instantly gets dropped. Did not need a second chance there, Flippy, and he hits that shot. Fantastic stuff from him. He's replying with some excellent sniping of his own. What captain gets obliterated there by pipes from Rib? That was insane, but Forsaken's now going to be trying to hit the headshots. He hits another one onto somebody else actually as well, and they're going to be putting Bull in a situation where he really is fearful for his life, holding onto this Uber.
Wow, Flippy gets another one as well. It's just a battle of the snipers right now. I don't think anyone else has even really got a frag in the last sort of couple of minutes. But they are going to force Reason out of that lobby back inside the shutter. So Forsaken's going to have to adopt a more defensive position. But I imagine Nerd Rage are going to want to come in pretty quickly with this Uber from underneath and see what they can do. All the Reason players are pretty grouped up right now, and there's a lot of pressure on Bash really to keep them out and to slow down this Uber. The Donks come in as well. Perfect timing on that soldier, going to knock him back. Bash goes down pretty quickly. They're trying to chase some more frags right now, but the soldiers are doing their best from Reason just to dance around, make it difficult. Soldier all over Cadus. He will survive for a bit, but he does go down. The rest of the Nerd Race players are in, and they will clean up everyone. And that's 2-0.
It is. It's going well here for Nerd Rage. They're managing to use their sniper very effectively. As you said, both of the snipers just getting shots left, right, and center. It's a wide open map, but it seems that while the rest of their players are trying to walk across the map and engage with each other, Flippy and Forsaken just having the times of their life.
Yeah, going on to this next middle now. Both demos pretty much the same speed, just trading spam now as Nerd Rage Zoob tries to get the high ground. He's going to take the high ground of the middle as well. He's going to go following it up with a bomb, goes right behind Cadus, only gets 1 rocket off though, but here comes the big bomb from Star. He can't quite finish off Cadus, he's down to 20 health. He's waiting for an arrow, and Nerd Rage really haven't capitalised on this damage and positioning they gained from those bombs. They're moving forward now, but I feel like they definitely could have punished Reason a lot harder.
I don't think they're going to be able to catch Raymond. He's already really, really far back. They're going to be able to get Cadus. Cadus giving his own life away. And he's dodging for so long. They found it really difficult to pick up the frag there on the demo man from Reason Gaming. But he allowed Raymond and Captain to get miles out. And yeah, they really now have that Uber charge.
Yeah, he saw he couldn't quite make it out in time to just opt to sacrifice his life to pop the Uber off. Now we see the double soldier bomb comes out. Both scouts try and run behind. Flippy goes down straight away. Zebasai still hanging around though, so I imagine he's going to try and come in on the medic as the counter-aggression comes back out. Raymond is trapped on the point, he's surely going to go down. Zebasai gets Mike, they're still chasing the medic, the soldiers bombing into lobby. They've lost all positioning here, Reason, but they're desperately trying to keep hold of their medic as they come out lower, but the soldiers behind. Captain and Forsaken knew it was coming. Complete read on Stark, and maybe they're going to want to repush?
Yeah,
Forsaken's thinking about it.
It's a decent opportunity for them to repush. They have both of the soldiers down. That's a lot of spam power removed. Oh, sorry, not both of the soldiers. ZOWIE is playing scout in this. They're confusing me, and I've got the classes up on the screen. But Flippy and Rib are going to be getting very weak there as Mike comes in and forces off the Uber charge. They lose Mike and Captain for it, but Raymond's going to have his counter Uber to deal with them. And Forsaken takes a 1v1 on the flank with the roaming soldier Stark and bosses him around. He's got that. Oh my goodness! Just runs in and two-shot ZOWIE as well. He's playing insanely well. He's going to actually just
for it.
yeah. He's just going to take them on 1v6 here, getting the cap time, baiting it out, making so much room for his team. He might lose this 1v1 against Flippy though. Flippy does actually get the better of him there, but he's made so much space for a reason that they're able to take the lighthouse.
Kada's pretty low in this push, needs to be careful, but he's met with Raymond now, but the soldier's going to come bomb in. They might have to pop. Lots of weak players on Reason. Zoov will go down, but he's popped for Uber, and Reason are so far away from Nerd Rage. They might be able to get onto this middle, but they won't get a lot more. In fact, the scouts just stayed in. Onto Raymond, but Cadus will pipe him in time. There's now no heals on Cadus because of how low Raymond was. He will go down as Nerd Rage push back in, but Mike just picks up Bull. It's just a DM fest on mid. Captain's going to get another one as well. They're now 2v1ing this soldier, but now Zoob's arrived again. He's pretty weak. Zoob's actually going to get 2 frags on both soldiers, but Forsaken is there to clean it up ultimately after that early death on CP2.
Yeah, Forsaken perfectly timing his death so that he could come in and save the push there. But yeah, the soldier v soldier DM at the end, they were all too weak to properly jump around, and they were all without any kind of high ground. The terrain on this map is distinctly non-flat as well and very irregular, so they were just dancing around each other's rockets. But the net result of that is that Raymond has about a 40% advantage, and they're looking to prod through the choke point now. They're going to be meeting Flippy on Sniper though. Let me see where Flippy's looking from. He's all the way back on balcony, and he's got a line on choke. He's got a very deep line on flowers as well, but nothing on Cafe, and that's the way that Raymond is choosing to push from. He's managed to get his supercharge in so far, and there we go. Captain's going to commit to this. The flying Rib actually manages to create that, but the reply of a headshot from Flippy, and trying to get the next one as well, but Zoob manages to find that frag before Flippy could get it, and that was a collapse of a push. That was dreadful from Reason.
Yeah, really nice work from, I'm not sure who the scout was, it was ZOWIE, I'm not sure who the soldier was, on flank, just locking down flowers straight away. As soon as that Uber charge faded, it meant they expected the aggression onto their sniper. It just meant that no one could even get close to Flippy and allow him to hit more shots. Now Nerd Rage are trying to get aggressive, but they just dropped both soldiers as well for sort of a kind of like half-hearted nothing play. So we got Uber advantage, but they're about to get a whole ton of pressure on them. They have a sniper as well, so that's going to be tough. Well, I say Flippy's just going to clean up Bash. Now both soldiers from Reason are behind on mid. Really disjointed fighting now. Reason all over the map. They will get Flippy. They're now fighting a scout on high ground. The shotgun comes out from Captain. They're still trying to fight these players on the high ground. Wow, Mike's actually going to get both of them. How did he manage that? 50 HP, picks up 2. Bull will get the revenge frag to save his own life and get him out of there. And now we see Forsaken on Sniper.
Yeah, Forsaken and Flippy just loving their lives right now on Sniper. It's just too easy for them. They're picking up frags all over the place. Bull's got about a 30% advantage. But he's another headshot straight away there onto Cadus, and another one onto Raymond. Raymond though does not have the health to tank a headshot, and down goes the medic from Reason Gaming. Stark's going to attempt to apply some pressure as well when he knows that that there's no heals on the board, and Cadus and Bash are coming in through that flower area as well. Mike's in. He's trying to get damage onto Flippy and ZOWIE and manages to find them both.
How is he just so much better than everyone, even by himself?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. He literally 2v1'd them there, just ZOWIE and Flippy.
Not even like in a surprise, you know what I mean? He wasn't just like hiding and he just walked into both of them, just straight up jumped at both of them, got it, and now he's going to go force for Uber. He will go down. Yeah. He can't be stopped, but Raymond's pretty far back. They might launch some soldiers here. Nerd Rage, skip jumps coming out, trying to get deep. Kind of all over Raymond though, but there's a lot of defense there, and they're going to get 2 frags.
Amazing dodging.
Cadus will go down, but he's set up a lot of frags, 4 of them right now. Just Rib and Bull left to fall out. Really nice from Reason there, both the dodging and the defense play.
Yeah, Raymond just gave both of those soldiers so many dukes. Stark and Zebasai just didn't have a read on him at all, and Raymond just jumping around them over their heads. There was no way they could predict where he was going. But 2 snipers on the field though, and they're going to be looking at each other as Forsaken starts moving forwards. The rest of Nerd Rage just kind of clumped up in that lobby area. There's 15 minutes remaining, still half the map left, and Reason are in control of this round for now. They just have to convert a last push here with the Ubers equal.
This is oh my god.
The drop coming out of Raymond! I don't understand why he was in that position as well. Stark just caught him with a little juggle, and I think Raymond just thought that he could hold on to it when he very obviously couldn't. That's really unfortunate.
How did Mike? How did Mike?
I didn't even see what Mike did, but how did Mike?
He catches him in lobby, kills the scout, then sort of doesn't really have anything loaded. Ben still finds a way to dodge and force the medic before going down as well.
And that's made the Uber charges equal as well. Raymond dropping that Uber has just been saved. Flippy goes down on scout to the sniper of Forsaken, and Forsaken's body shot and Zoob to stop the aggression from him. Loose cannon attempt at a double donk air shot here as Stark's distracting the rest of the people as well, but he's gonna get mid-air headshot, and the snipers are going rampant. They're insane. They're just literally on a rampage, these snipers. They're unstoppable.
I swear to God, if someone's in the air, Forsaken doesn't miss. Like, you might as if you jump and then realise they have a sniper, you might as well just kill bind and save a seconds on your respawn.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's so consistent with like no shots. It's so.
And now him and Flippy are going to be dueling it out on the left-hand side. Flippy gets the better end of that one though. He knew exactly where Forsaken was going to be. When Forsaken was playing a bit of guesswork, and the bomb in from Mike.
He got donked on the way in.
Yeah, he just took so much damage there from Rib. He did quite a lot of damage to Rib as well, actually, but there's the counter sack from Stark. Doesn't get anything done, and they have that heavy sniper defense. But Reason can keep throwing players in. They can keep throwing Mike in, or they can try and put Forsaken in a really aggressive position. But they had difficulty running this against Full Tilt, yeah. This sniper defense, they never quite figured out the best angle to try and get in and get onto Nerd Rage, and Nerd Rage are very, very good at defending this last as well. So
and this is key as well. And this is Reason's sort of first real opportunity in the map where Raymond's not dropped, like except that one where Raymond dropped the Uber. That didn't really count, obviously. Where they actually have a proper chance at pushing last. So it'll be interesting to see if they can actually put anything together, and so far
the answer is no.
Just keeps losing sniping duels to Flippy.
Yeah, he took a lot of spam there. He was actually just trying to get headshots off on Zebasai, who was the heavy, but he was completely buffed, and he's trying to get these quick 150 headshots off. Oh, Flippy actually gets caught there as well, though. Both of the snipers taken out, and Forsaken's respawned on Scout, so they're going to trade the Ubers. Captain in on the right-hand side, but the double donk onto Mike is really unfortunate, and I think they're going to be able to catch Captain as well. Stark's not going to let him out, but actually manages to find the frag on the Roman soldier there from Nerd Rage, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, bringing out the second primary right there. It'll be interesting to see if they want to take this in a straightforward 5v5 fight, you know, with the soldier, and obviously, especially on last.
Now they're actually running Mike on Spy. That's what they're going for, the Mike Spy play. Let's see if he can do as well as Stark did. Stark's play was incredible to win them that first round. Let's see if Mike can get some of that magic flowing. He's going to try and get in here, but avoid bumping into anybody. He's going to choose to uncloak in that back area. Cadus has already died, though. They might not be expecting this, but Bull's seen it coming. Bull's seen it coming, and it's an easy cleanup there. That's a two-player advantage, and this is an opportunity for Nerd Rage to push out, but they're not doing it. Oh no, they're just starting to now. They're just starting to potentially poke in on the right-hand side.
I guess all of their tab buttons must be broken.
Yeah, it's odd that they aren't pushing, because that is definitely enough of an opportunity, and if they just choose to turtle on last, even with two-player advantage, yes, they're going to be knocking time off the clock, but eventually Reason are going to win. If they never push out, Reason are eventually going to win this round.
Well, maybe not. Never, yeah.
Maybe not.
Sorry.
Well, Mike's in behind it again, actually. They won't expect the spy the second time, he says. as he jumps in, right behind Bull, but Zoob spotted him. That was so close. But thankfully, Zoob has got his medics back, really quite literally. And with those 2 picks, they actually do decide to push out this time. Captain juggled a little further forward, but on 80 health, Raymond's going to pop the Uber off and catch him. It's a better Uber here for, well, for Nerd Rage, but they actually don't have any positioning, and so they are forced just to drop out. There is the potential for a non-Uber push here. They look like they're going to be moving into lobby, seeing if they can catch anybody. They might just try and dry push it to that right-hand side. Captain's going to be leading the charge, but he's taken so much damage. He gets an arrow from Raymond, but that isn't enough. The frag, though, onto that heavy weapons guy really might open something up, and Bull's gone down as well. There's only 3 players alive, though, for Reason Gaming, and one of them's a medic, so the fragging potential severely limited, and Flippy's chasing down Raymond, but taking quite a few hours. Raymond is really trying to defend himself, but down to 7 health, there's no way he's going to survive.
Where's he going? Like, yeah, the problem is he's also sort of dodging.
But Mike's killing everyone on last! Mike has just single-handedly won the round! He jumped in on last, he took 2 players down in a 2v1, and then battered away the respawners to just completely win that on his own.
I just watched it on the stream, yeah. How did Mike?
Yeah, how did Mike? Just taking the team on his back there, 2-1, they can get back into it.
It's like you said though, eventually Reason did come out on top, maybe not in a quite as traditional a way. But now there's only 1 round in it, but Flippy's rolled out a sniper to mid and we get the headshot onto Captain. Mike's gone down as well, there's no aggression, and now a soldier's going super deep for Raymond. He juggles into him in the air and Stark will pick him before killing himself with his own splash damage. Now it's only Bash alive for Reason versus Free. Where is Bash?
Bash ran away. I don't know why. For some reason, he decided not to commit with the rest of his team and run away on full health. I don't know. Bash is baffling me, but who knows? Who knows? I think one of the medics has just switched over to Kritzkrieg there as well. Who's that? If I can just...
Raven.
Raymond's running the crits, yeah, Bull's running the normal Uber charge, so they're pulling out the strategies here. They're running that sniper as well from Forsaken, so the sniper Kritzkrieg strat. Is Nerd Rage going to expect it, and is Cadus going to be able to hit the crits?
Mike's going deep for the sniper. He's just going back out. He's actually baited a soldier aggressive. They're baiting players in. Really nice play from Reason. Mike might not be able to get out of it. He will get pistoled down, but it's opened up a lot of space. Cadus has walked in meanwhile and just traded. Bit of a weird one from him there, and now they're sort of backing it up. They have 100% crits, but they've only really got Captain they can use it on. Are they going to go for it though? He's going to get Zebasai. Bull does not have it yet, but as a soldier, Stark has just gone and killed Raymond, taking that crits away. Captain will clean him up. But wow, as soon as Captain starts reloading his rockets, he gets headshot, and Bull is tucked away far back with his pocket and demo. He should be plenty safe. It looks like Forsaken might...
Forsaken's charging up a body shot, or a headshot here. Mike actually gets the frag on Zoom, and Forsaken escapes, but a fully charged body shot on him is going to take him out, so... Flippy and Forsaken again going to be going head to head, locking horns here, but Nerd Rage in control of the map at the moment. They have that midpoint and they're 2-1 up, and there's only 7 minutes left on the clock.
The key for Nerd Rage here is getting into CP2 without having to use the Uber. As I say now, they literally pop just for a bit of spam and because of a sniper. But I guess, again, because they have the lead, they can take these safe pops without having to worry too much. But Mike is now right behind the medic. Bull is not looking. Mike's jumping over him. He's going to get the stab. Bull goes down. It's surely going to cue a push out straight away. Zoom trying to move it up top to go aggressive, but he's going to get shut out straight away. There's so many Nerd Rage players threatening for this back camp. There's 3 of them just waiting to try and get behind through now. Right side.
Zoob's in on last though and manages to pick off Raymond. He just jumped in from that right hand side and got a fantastic rocket onto Raymond there. Raymond surfed away, but there was just nothing he could do to avoid that. Zoob was unstoppable, and that has given a large Uber advantage over to Nerd Rage and Bull. Crits advantage. So Nerd Rage going to be pulling out the crit strats now. That's going to be a huge advantage then. There's no way that Raymond's going to get his defensive Uber charge up in time.
Do they know? Captain's just swapped off. Did Mike see it or something before he went down? Because Captain's just swapped off to NG. Like it's pretty late, you know, to start going NG on this last hold, but he's gone for it, and this could work pretty well. He's picked, you know, a pretty just random position as well, which might catch him out. Let me find Rib as they are 100% fully charged. Here comes Rib. The distractions are coming in. It's only a level 1 sentry. The crits is popped now. He gets Kada super low, but he can't finish the frag. He's crit sticky them in spawn. They need cap time to go with this, though. He's going to get 2. 3 actually with the full damage. And yeah, clean crits push. They all just ran back into spawn there, and Rib just stickied the spawn shut with crits and gets a 3k off of it. They really needed some aggression onto Rib rather than just trying to turtle their way out of it.
Yeah, Mike was actually running Spy on that defense. He did get the backstab onto Zoo, but he was essentially like completely missing as a spam character or anybody
Someone
who can distract
well.
or yeah, anyone who can distract or do damage or anything. He was just a non-factor in that last hold.
Now we see Mike going behind down the enemy flowers. Pretty early on, there's a soldier aggressive. Forsaken's running sniper to mid though and domes the aggressive soldier. Mike's still distracting from behind. He will get taken down eventually by Flippy, but now we have Reason just moving forward. Forsaken on that sniper rifle. He gets another one. They're staying in because they have crits. Rib has popped his crits. Raymond's separated from anyone, and Rib can't find the stickies, and Bull will go down. It's really split fighting though. Nice arrow to buff up that scout, and Bash should be able to clean him up here. But actually, Rib somehow gets gets Raymond even. Bash will clean him up. Now Forsaken's trying to melee Zebasai at the other choke, and Bash has gone back for him. It's going to be a 1v1, and Zebasai kills Bash. He only had 50 health. But I imagine we might see a rematch of this mid from the respawn waves.
Yeah, very possibly. Nerdrage get better spawns out of it, and Bash really should have been able to defend his medic there and stop Rib killing him, because Rib literally just walked across the point and then just started piping and stickying Raymond, chased him all the way into flowers. Raymond was dodging for ages, and Bash was unable to get that frag and help his team, you know, save his medic. So a very, very odd situation at the end there. I really feel like the Reason should have won that, and possibly would have done if they'd had Havicool or someone, but Bash was just whiffing his shots in a crucial moment. It hasn't hurt them too much. They have about a 20% disadvantage, but they're just choosing to non-Uber push this through. No, they're not. They thought about it, but having lost Mike, they're backing it up a little bit, but look at that! A fully charged body shot. It was all just a ploy in order to get the position there, and Captain's trying to pick up the frags on everybody else, harassing his medic. Flippy, so weak there, but so was Captain. He could not finish the frag though, the scout, and Captain comes out on top, doing a lot of work there in that non-Uber push and making a ton of room for Forsaken to get that crucial frag onto Bool.
Yeah, nice initial play from Flippy getting behind at the same time as well. We just couldn't find those final shots onto Raymond. Raymond's dodging has been on point so far today. But he will have to be wary of Flippy on Sniper this time as they try and go through. And I think they're thinking about going Cafe. No, they're rotating to choke. That's probably a better decision with the Sniper in play. Mike's gone super deep early again, but they're actually going to get force coming through the choke anyway by stuff. They should be able to clean up another couple of players, but Flippy's killed Bash and Mike's died as well from going so deep. Now Captain's trying to chase, but he's actually getting flanked by a soldier. Forsaken's there to back him up though. He should be able to take both of these frags. But there's no cap time throughout all of this. They're getting the frags, but there's no cap time, and that's going to slow down their aggression.
Yeah, they are forced to stack the point now with everybody, and given that they don't have the Uber charge and Bull does, and they're getting the spawners of Zoob and Zebasai, they couldn't really get in there and attempt to take the fight to Bool when he didn't have enough players defending him to not pop off that Uber charge. So they perhaps lost a trick there of they could have engineered a situation where they had it much better for themselves. But Mike's in trying to get the force out of Bool, but there's no way he's going to be able to do that with all of the players clumped up and Zebasai running the heavy as well. So let's see how they choose to break this last hold. Is Mike going to respawn on Spy?
What is he, 1 for 3 so far on Spy plays?
Yeah, I think so, something like that, and he's choosing not to. He's just respawning back on Soldier once again. Stark and Captain trade for each other. That favours Nerdrage really overall, but it's definitely not something that they can push on out from last. The sniper just missing Mike there. Flippy saw his head peek over, but couldn't quite get the click on the forehead.
They're just going to walk it in, yeah. Butting heads with the Uber, they actually lose Bash somewhere on the flank, I think to a sticky trap maybe. Cadus will get out and will look to rotate, but they've lost both scouts. It's going to be a really tough repush. Considering there's 30 seconds left and they're 2 rounds out, it's going to be particularly difficult from this point.
That is probably going to be a little too difficult there for Reason Gaming. They're going to make a decent attempt at it anyway. 20 seconds left. The score 3-1 for Nerd Rage. And they're going to be able to hold on to this last as well. 10 seconds remaining. I don't think they can make the score 3-2. Nerd Rage have managed to come out on top of this. Cadis is going to make a play for it anyway. Juggled all the way up in the air and just suspended there by hit scan damage from Zebasai. And they get the frags onto those players. I think we're going to dive into the next game with the next group. It's going to be TLR versus Dogs.tf, but that has done something weird to the group of Group A, given that Full Tilt beat Full Tilt beat Nerd Rage in 2 maps, Reason beat Full Tilt in 2 maps, and then Nerd Rage beat Reason in 2 maps. Weird situation. So while I deal with that, we'll go and watch Dogs.tf against TLR.
Flippy is pretty good at Sniper.
He is pretty insane at Sniper. So let's take a look at the logs as well. So
Cadis is definitely wants to know who's through.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sorting that out. I'm gonna have a look at the statistics and see who gets through. I need to look at the tiebreaker rules and see. But in the meantime, I'll bring in Heis, because he's going to be casting the next game of TLR versus Dogs.tf, and I'll scurry away and do the administration like I should be doing.
Do we have a connect for this map, or I can just guess what's going on?
You potentially do have the connect for the map. Where is it? It's somewhere around here. I'm sure DavidTheWin has it stored in his back pocket.
Down the back of a sofa or something.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's in the same place as the remote and my keys. But yeah, DavidTheWin is sorting out the server for the TLR versus Dogs.tf game. What do you think of that matchup?
Well, TLR versus Dogs?
Yeah.
TLR full, first choice roster? Is Alpha there?
Yes, I think so, but Alpha is playing with the high ping.
Dogs will win. Not comfortably or clearly, it'll be close, it'll be hard fought, but I think Dogs will win.
So is that because you think TLR have been weakened recently?
Yeah, the changes I think have weakened them, and they just don't seem like the same team they did, sort of halfway through last season. They just seem a lot weaker, not as together as a team. It just seemed, just all round, just everything seems weaker. The personnel isn't as good, teamwork isn't as strong. They've lost some of that sort of I guess X factor they had, you know what I mean, with Shadowburn and Nico and stuff, all of them together. They can just pull out the insane plays, the same sort of way Mike does or Cadis will. But just pull out that insane play out of nothing to set something up. Whereas now they have Nico who can do that, but the rest of their players, they're not bad, but they don't have that kind of standout moments as much. And
in terms of the Dogs roster, who are going to be their star players, the ones to watch?
Spud. Pretty much just Spud.
Just Spud.
Yeah, just watch Spud. Just watch everyone get donked, everyone get mad, and then get donked some more, and then lose. They have Hildreth. Never mind. TLR are going to win tonight, then, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hildreth was playing very well. So I don't think he is Spud level though in terms of the raw DM and ability on Demoman.
Spud's pretty heavy on comms as well, Not that Hildreth isn't, but obviously he contributes quite a lot, and that's what they're used to having with Spud. Do we know what maps they're going to?
A very good question. No, I have no idea what maps they're going to. I can attempt to get in contact with the teams and ask them what's going on, who picked what, etc., etc. I think they've been waiting for us before they went live for a while now, so they should have everything sorted in terms of map picks, etc., unless they've just been sat there eating pizza and chasing chickens and all sorts of other things that TF2 professionals get up to.
I wish that's what I was doing. I want to chase some chickens.
Chasing the chickens.
Chase some chicks.
just a singular chick.
Yeah,
He knew where the rest were.
Looking for loose chicks.
And we're joined by Heiss as well, who previously played for TLR, so he's going to have a lot of insight into that team. And an overall intelligent gamer. He's going to be casting the next game with us. Hello, Heiss.
Hello, everyone.
Hello there. So, how do you feel TLR? Have you watched them at all since you've been absent? How do you think they're doing?
I've seen sort of mixed results, really, and they've played with various different people when I've been watching. But they seem to be doing okay for the most part. They're just missing a little bit leadership at times, but then War is making up for that in other ways as well.
Do you think War's a suitable replacement?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, I don't think they could have got anyone better than War. He has good experience, played at LAN, so it's pretty good.
And in terms of what he brings to the team, perhaps that you didn't, or what you bring to the team that he doesn't, what do you think about your different playstyles? What does it add or detract?
I think he brings aim, and I bring leadership and coordination, that kind of thing. And they seem to be doing okay. I mean, if they had the leadership there and War in the team, they'd be a better team, I would say. But otherwise, I think it cancels it out. But obviously, Shadowburn's the biggest difference. It's between me and War. I don't think it's that much.
And if you're looking at the Dogs roster, then we were just discussing the matchup of TLR versus Dogs and how the players perform against each other. They don't really have the same star players, but Dogs have been a fairly solid team over the course of the last season, and they did pretty well. Do you think they can bring it?
I think they're the dark horse of LAN in a way. I think those are like a team that if they could stick together another season, especially, that they're going to be challenging for shots. But I don't think they're far away at all, to be honest. And they have enough DM through the team. But I agree with what you're saying. They maybe don't have that kind of like all-star feeling without being disrespectful. I think Spud's maybe the one person, possibly the scouts as well, that kind of shine for that particular team. But it's hard to say because I don't know if they're still using QNX or not. I've not followed the
no, they're using Nation on Pocket for the LAN, so that's what they are doing. That's what they're doing for this game as well. So they've dropped QNX, unfortunately, because Nation already had plans to go with them to I-55, so he's playing Pocket.
From what I know, Nation was kind of limited in the team when he was playing with them before QNX. I actually happen to think Nation is potentially a very, very good soldier. I'm not saying he's not a good soldier already, but I think he could be better if he was allowed to do what he wanted to do in that team. I don't know how he's going to fit in with this team now. I don't watch a lot of their games, but I quite rate Nation, but I think QNX was an upgrade when he was playing before because maybe the team let him do what he wanted to do, or his playstyle suited how they wanted to play, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so if you had to give a prediction then for TLR versus Dogs, who would you put your money on?
I think TLR have a few changes to the roster tonight, if I'm accurate. I think Merlin's playing, isn't he, for Serotonin?
Apparently War's now not available as well.
Yeah, I think they're still looking for a Mac Demo Man.
I think they've got Rib. They're playing with Rib on Demo Man, as far as I can see. And we've just been given the connect info now, so we can have a look at those rosters and discuss what the differences it's gonna make to the team.
Just as a prediction, I actually think Dogs are going to win this game simply because they have like the stability. I'm assuming their full lineups here and playing tonight, and if that's the case, I think they've got the edge.
I think it's full except for Hildriff instead of Spud.
I think Spud's quite a big difference to that team, but I think it's still going to be quite an even game. I don't think TLR will take it easy, and I don't think Dogs will take it easily either.
Well, I will leave you two lovebirds and go off and try and figure out the mess that is Group A at the moment. But I'll be watching the game and interested to see who comes out on top of that. So I'll leave you in the capable hands of Heis and CommanderX.
Hey.
Hey.
So it looks like we're going ahead with Badlands as the first map, which will probably benefit both teams really. Just with Mercs playing, Badlands is always the most played map of everyone who's ever come near competitive CF2. So everyone's very at home here, understands exactly how it works. Positioning's second nature to everyone by now. So they'll probably be able to put in a better performance on Badlands just because of that. But yeah, it probably means it's going to be just as tight.
From what I've seen, I don't think Nico's playing either for TLR. Which
is he not on the server now, or is that someone?
I think Shockey's playing with Herpy, if AMS's information is accurate, which I'm sure it is.
Well, actually, yeah, he says he's on my friends list. Nico is definitely not on my friends list. It's Shockey, yeah.
I'm guessing that Nico Merc, but
yeah,
he's actually got. To me, it looks like the same picture. So whether they've switched or anything, or Nico's back, I'm not sure. He's away on mine, so I think.
I was about to say, yeah, right now it's Shockey. Yeah, he's clearly gone the full hog to impersonate him though.
I mean, Shockey is obviously an excellent player. I don't know how it's going to affect having so many people switched out. It's going to be more of like a mix playing against a team, in my opinion. But I think that gives Dogs the edge of this fixture. But TLR have a lot of quality as well, so it's. I still think it's going to be an even game.
Yeah, obviously TLR have to suffer through a high ping roamer as well for this tournament, which won't help. Especially when you look at some of the standout players on Dogs, and we're talking like Scrab and Sheepy. It's hard enough jumping against them, let alone when your rocket jumps are kind of nerfed because of a high ping as well. It's going to make it particularly hard. I think so far Alpha's been playing a lot more of a distraction-based roamer role rather than direct sort of head-to-head pick-based game. I imagine I don't know if you know any more, but how much of that is like ping-based, or how much of it is just that's how Alpha wants to play?
Yeah, I mean it's not too bad of a ping, I guess, if he gets used to it. But obviously, when it comes to then going to LAN, it's quite a huge difference. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen a lot of their results with Alpha playing. For me, I thought Alpha was a scout, but people told me he's played for second in the ESEA invite.
Yeah,
Soldier.
I don't know. I think everyone's been quite nice about it, but he's not bad at Soldier, but he is distinctly okay at Soldier. When you compare to, it's not as much that Alpha's bad, but that Shadowburn was really good.
Yeah, Shadowburn is a huge difference, but in the same sort of light, I mean, you lack the comms as well sometimes with Shadowburn. Sometimes he does communicate as much as he can, but sometimes it's very, very quiet. So, and he likes to be very aggressive as well. So you don't necessarily get somebody who is always just holding the flank with Shadowburn. So it'll be interesting to see how Alpha's play style affects TLR in this game.
Yeah, obviously with yourself coming off the roster as well, maybe a player like a more communication-heavy player will be better for the team. Having more people who can sort of take an active role in comms.
Yeah, I mean, I actually played with TLR a few days ago when War had to leave early. I think they were missing a roamer, and then I switched to demo when War had to leave, and we played Reason. And I was honestly atrocious on roamer, and they only lost by one round. And they seemed fine in terms of when I was holding as a passive roamer, they were playing really well. Despite not having the main course or like a clear main caller. And then I switched to demo, and I think we won by like one round, but there was very, very little difference to be honest. These guys can definitely hold their own, and it's a shame they don't have Sarasone because he is a very good sort of micromanager when he wants to. He has great mechanics, and I think they'll miss him. But someone like Miralin, he's experienced. He's a veteran of the game really, and he can really make the difference in Uber charges. He can also main call as well, so they may do just as well with Miralin.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like at this level, when you lose a main caller, I think for the vast majority of it, everyone on the team is good enough and knows enough that they understand what they should be doing in pushes. I think the real difference like a main caller makes is when it's sort of like a tense situation, or you're like 3 rounds down or something and people's heads are starting to drop. Sort of someone who can be on the comms and still talking, still like motivating people and calling strats and giving the team direction, when some people can just like shut down and just go silent and try and focus on their aim or whatever.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen, like, I mean, talking about pushes, I watched some really poor pushes from TLR. I mean, it's never been a strength of ours. We've thrown quite a few pushes in last season, and that did have a big effect on the grand finals as well. But it seemed particularly poor, especially from a focus perspective. I watched War doing so much damage going in on pushes, and people not focusing what War was focusing, and they were discussing that. They were quite angry with how the pushes were going, but I think they're just lacking that little bit of like focus fire,
like fine tuning,
coordination. Yeah, and I think they'll be like best, a lot better place, to be honest.
Yeah, like War certainly hits enough shots for it to be worth capitalizing on. So hopefully we'll see a difference. Is it right that War's connected?
I think it's Rib that's connected. What I've heard,
I'm just making that up.
War can't play today anyway, as far as I know. And Huey was going to be replacing War for this game, but it looks like Huey's also disappeared. So, as TLR have had throughout, we've had 2 roamers disappear. That'll be the 3rd now with Shadowban because of the visa. So we've had quite a turbulent season and off season. But I'm sure these guys will handle it okay, and they'll put on a good show.
Yeah, we said before, it's going to be Badlands as well, so everyone knows what they're doing on Badlands anyway. So it should still be good. I'm just trying to figure out exactly when they are starting. They're definitely taking their time. Hold on, I just got a Steam message. 90 seconds, there we go. Confirmation. So go on, give me a scoreline. I know it's a bit of a lottery with different players and a standard roster on each side, but who's going to win tonight?
I'm going to say 4-3 to Dogs.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that. I think we'll see quite a few rounds. Not the full roster. There's going to be some weaknesses in the defense. Badlands are particularly easy last to cap as far as last points go. So definitely something in that region of high scoring. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Dogs have. Obviously, I've not really watched too much of Dogs during the season, but I have liked what I have seen. So hopefully they can put on a show tonight. And I think slowly but surely as well, Dogs are starting to build themselves a bit of a reputation. Rather than just being like just another decent team that will go into LAN. So maybe people are actually starting to think maybe they can upset someone. Obviously, a lot of their players are kind of unknowns at LAN as well, like for how they will play, whether they play better or worse, and so on. So if a few of them all start playing better, it could really put them up there with the rest of the top EU and American teams.
Yeah, I think they're going to surprise a few people at LAN. I think they have no pressure as well, unlike the other 5 top teams and the 2 NA teams and the other 3 top European teams that are attending. These guys can come there and just play freely.
Yeah, if they finish 6th, no one's going to make any comment. They're not going to feel like they've let themselves down or whatever. They can just do what they want to do. Merlin bringing out all the binds so far.
So there's going to be many more of those.
Every game. Okay. We should be going live pretty soon. Are you coming to iSeries anyway? Regardless.
I still have my room booked, but at this moment in time, I hadn't had any plans to go.
Okay. You should come down. You could play the manager role.
I don't know if I want to shout behind TLR. I don't know if that's. I don't think they need that. The main caller in the back of the head.
Literally, yeah.
Is that cheating? If I call?
If you call, I don't know, because you wouldn't be looking at the other team's computers. You're not ghosting. You would just be. I don't know. We'll need an official ruling from Nymphe. But everyone will want the manager all of a sudden. Main caller standing in the background. But we are actually live. TR. Oh, sorry.
I'll take us to mid. I'm just watching Alpha's view. He's jumping in from Valley onto the medic. He will kill the medic straight away. That's a good fight from Rib as well onto Scrab. That's 3 down now for Dogs.tf. It looks like TLR should take this, but they still have good point presence with Hildred pushing across the point. Onto the medic, he will get a good pipe onto Miralin and equalise the medic picks. Nation will just back out through the house and TLR will stabilise the middle.
Yeah, they just got Miralin pinned sort of in between a rock and a hard place right at the end there and were able to pick him. And of course Kratos died earlier, he's actually going to end up with like maybe a 10% or so advantage. But I wouldn't be surprised if TLR just take this with the respawns, just sort of keep the pace going, keep the aggression, and just take the 6v6 team fight.
Yeah, and you can see now Dogs are actually going to push in, despite the fact that TLR have the man advantage. They have quite a good presence into the choke point, but Alpha will get a pick onto Alfie. That's both roamers down for each side. Rib's going to pick up Kratos and go down himself to Hildreth. It's quite an even fight at the moment, CommanderX, but I think they're going to have to back off now, Dogs.tf, and as Shocky gets a pick onto the demo man in choke.
Yeah, like the scouts from Dogs now focused down Rib, and it seemed to set him up well, but they kind of had to chase Rib underneath to get the frag. With that, they just conceded the high ground, and then all of a sudden, TLR were able to clean up those frags really quickly. And now we're going to see them walking towards last with a crit streak, I believe. It looks like they're going bottom right with it, with AMS. This is risky. Going to kill the scout straight away, but now Merlin's been cut off this soldier. AMS is going to jump up, clean him up as well, and that's 2 frags. Going to fight another soldier. AMS should get a 3rd one here. Meanwhile, they've opened up a point as well and just capped that off. Really clean crits push.
Yeah, that was a 2-minute 5-second round from TLR, and it was despite quite an even fight, but Dogs did try and take the fight on the choke. And I think they took that a little bit too prematurely with TLR having the spawns. But I'm going to watch Rib come through house now. He's about equal to the middle with Hildreth. Both demos been fairly passive at the back of the train. Rib's taking a little bit of the ascendancy here. You will see Alpha get a pick onto Sheepy early. Nation equalising that. Fairly even mid-fight here, CommanderX. There's 2 people down each for both sides. Looks like Dogs are opting to play from their choke with a medic into the house. He's quite low at the moment. He was jumped by Alpha. He's backing off through Hunter, and I think Alpha may have just fluffed this as the medic is dropped and hidden underneath at the choke. Kratos seems to be getting away through Haunter, but Alpha's back onto the choke point one-on-one with Nation, and Nation has a slight health advantage on Alpha. Yeah, that Alpha will go down eventually after chasing the medic and failing. TLR, 4 players down. Dogs will take this middle.
Yeah, while they were caught up chasing that play behind, Scrab pushed through, finished off a weak pocket soldier, and was able to get Merlin before his scout came to try and save him. And this is going to give him a big, clean Uber advantage to push forward with. The key for Dogs now is just making sure they don't get caught or forced by anyone without getting too many frags for it. And it doesn't look like anyone from TLR is really in a position to do too much. I think they're actually going for a back cap. Both scouts have started moving now. They're going to come out from main as well. They lose Rib pretty early on, but they do get the force out. Another double back cap has started, but all the players are behind, and Alpha's going to kill a scout on point as well. Now Hildreth's trying to move back for these scouts, but he's not got the backup yet to go for it. Scout's going to get straight on him. They should be able to get in that scout, but I think the other scout has ran all the way behind, now one-on-oneing a soldier on Spire. He's denied off the high ground as well. That means P cannot get the back cap and is now just stuck behind, stranded from his team.
Yeah, that was an excellent play by TLR. Very well coordinated from the scouts and the combo pushing in to block the Spire. And now we do see that Herpy's stuck behind still. He's under the bridge. He will go down, which will give Dogs a slight advantage here, despite having an Uber disadvantage. They may want to push in here and go for the medic, but looks like they're going to let him build up the Uber. One player is behind, though, from Dogs, and it looks like Alfie is stuck behind. He's going to bring them back there just to allow his team to build up this Uber charge. But TLR are running a sniper in the form of Alpha with that higher ping disadvantage. Will help him on the sniper, though. And they've equaled 1 player each. The Ubers are actually equal as well, but Alpha takes down Hildreth, which will give them that room, and that's actually forced Dogs.tf slightly earlier, but there is a back cap on CommanderX. I'm just watching Rib block the Spire here.
Wow, Scrab's going to not only get the point before they can jump into blocker, but he's going to drop down and kill the sniper on his way out to the respawn queue as well. And that's allowed Dogs to pretty much take this, take control of middle and push all the way up to choke. They will take the point back, but actually Alfie's going to come in, bomb straight onto Merlin, take him down. Dogs are still trying to fight this despite having no heals. They're in danger of losing a lot of people. They're trying to get the heals back onto Sheepy now. And they still want to seem to force this through resupply, but there's respawns coming from TLR. I'm not sure if this is the wisest decision, but they seem to want to be persevering. They now finally back out. But a bit of an odd play from Dogs there. I'm not quite sure what their plan was, staying around resupply for so long.
Yeah, Dogs actually have the advantage here. I think AMS knows that. He's looking, he's probing from the valley. I think he wants to get onto the medic of Dogs and get this advantage back in TLR's favour. But Miralin is stood quite far forward on Stone. It looks like they're aware of the disadvantage, CommanderX, and it looks like Dogs.tf are going to opt to push from the valley.
Yeah, trying to force it through this flank side again. Does seem to be taking a solo charge in. I'm not quite sure why. They have plenty of people alive, and there's so many people stacking choke. Oh my god, everyone stacked choke for TLR. Kratos drops the Uber. Everything going wrong right now for Dogs. They can't even start a back cap because there's so much time on middle. Alfie's going to come in for a solo bomb. He's got a scout rushing underneath as well, but Merlin's positioning is good. Got himself behind Shocky and AMS, and they're just going to clean up all those frags. Disastrous from Dogs.
Yeah, Dogs pushing from the valley. They have to commit a lot earlier there. They were surrounded from all areas on the stone bridge, and Shocky came in from balcony, took Kratos down, and we're now seeing a 1-0 situation, which could have been Dogs' advantage, pushing on to fourth, now defending on their last point with a full Uber disadvantage. Miralin's going to push his combo in. Top left-hand side, one scout, one soldier pushing in. The Pyro's bought some very valuable time. 20% remaining on the Uber charge as AMS jumps up top on the point to try and force the sticky debt. But they do get 2 vital kills, 3 kills in from TLR, and the pressure on the cap point. That'll be 2-0 to TLR.
Yeah, 2-round advantage now. It's a shame because Dogs haven't really been able to get anything going forward, you know what I mean? They've not been able to string any plays together, just sort of taking it 1 point at a time. Going on to this next middle though, it looks like Hildrift's going to go from balcony. Sticky and Rib in quite a bit, but Rib's going to come out now, and now we see the soldiers trading aggression. No one really going deep so far. In comes Alfie from underneath now, trying to be the first one in. But there's counter-aggression and there's frags all over as it descends into a 3v3. Scouts and a soldier versus a single scout and a soldier. They've got a lot of damage on that soldier as well. They need to finish the kill and a lot of damage on the scout. They can't finish either of it though as Merlin keeps healing. And eventually they're going to go down. Scrab's still trying to fight. But I think Nation just backed out. Didn't fancy his chances on 130 HP. Just sort of sold Scrab down the river there.
Yeah, and we're now seeing TLR with a full advantage again, 2-0 up in the ascendancy, but it's been quite an even game so far, CommanderX. You'd say that Dogs are a little bit unfortunate to be 2-0 down, potentially going to 3, but they look like they want to challenge the Spire, even with Kratos on only 30%. He flies into the air, watching for the air shot. He's going to, looks like Rib will take him down as he lands, but it's still fairly even. 3 down, 4 down for Dogs, and 3 down for TLR. It's a fairly even fight, but Miralin's on the floor in trash, not in a great position. 1 scout juking around, but it's only Scrab alive. He needs to buy his team survival time, and TLR still haven't capped the Spire. Rib will try and finish that off, and it'll allow Dogs to get the respawns in.
Yeah, AMS and Marilyn look like they're thinking about walking in, but it's not worth it. The respawns have come in. They are going to catch Scrab on their way out, though. But now it looks like the combo want to push out right now. Kratos moving forward with Nation, putting a lot of damage on him. They're actually going to get a free pick. Really nice aggression from Dog. Nation's going to clean up another scout as well, but there are 2 players behind. They should have enough to hold it. Alfie's going to clean up 1, and it's a Spy actually. Shocky on Spy. Do they know? I don't think they do. He's going to go for point. Alfie stayed anyway though because he knows Shocky's still alive. He's going to wait for it though. He's going to try and backstab the soldier, but now the soldier's gone to the high ground. There's nothing he can do, and I think Shocky might have to resort to an attempted med pick or something. Yeah,
excellent air shot onto AMS. I'm not sure which soldier that was from Dogs, but it was a great air shot as he jumps onto the Spire. Alpha takes down Nation on Spire. 2 down for Dogs. They shouldn't be contesting here. 3 down. Kratos goes down to the pistol of Her P. You see them rocking the Shocky Spy going in low right now, trying to get the headshots for the Ambassador. He's going to push forward with Her P. Her P quite low. Does take down Hildrift on his way down. 4 down for Dogs. This should be a TLR round, but there's a couple of respawns coming in as they try and block this, but it will go to TLR. 3-0 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there. I was watching Shocky and his spy shenanigans on last, but they just didn't seem to take very good control of the Spy and their Dogs. Having some problems going forward here. It would help if they could get a middle, though. Sort of more of a clean win, give themselves a better opportunity. Hildriff going balcony again now. Soldiers coming from below ground, walking up slope. Both scouts for Dogs playing pretty tightly together. Going to challenge for players on the point now. Alpha's actually got up onto the enemy train. It's going to pick off Nation straight away. Meanwhile, there's another frag, more frags on the point, and they've stuffed them back into house right now. And they're probably going to chase this. Soldier coming behind, should be able to get Kratos. AMS gets Hildriff and the medic. Sheepy will clean him up, but will probably go down before he can get into respawn as well. Wow, valiant effort from Sheepy there, taking on the slightly buffed Herpy. But good aggression from TLR, completely punishing the retreating Dogs players.
Yeah, they've surprised me here, to be perfectly honest. The first 2 rounds quite rocky, but they really are turning up the heat right now onto Dogs, and we need to see what they can come back with in reply. Miralin holding 100% Uber charge. The Spire is going to be capped off by TLR, and they're going to move forward. It looks like sort of I think it's Scrab or one of the scouts from Dogs is just hovering around, trying to get some early information for his team to see where they're going to push. TLR looking like they're going to move into the upper lobby area, pushing from top left with potentially the Soldier and the Scout again. They will bring the Soldier and the Scout top left, but he's denied by a Pyro. Excellent work from Scrab. The reflect onto Herpy. Herpy will go down. AMS trades with the Pyro, but that's completely negated the Uber.
Yeah, huge play from Scrab right there. The frag onto P as well, just the icing on the cake. AMS is going to go in aggressive as well. Afterwards, though, trying to get the Uber in, and they actually get 2 frags even though they don't get the medic. Kratos is super close to Uber, but they need to hold on to the point or it won't matter, and they can't hold on to the point. Wow, I don't know how they ended up getting 2 frags out of just that sort of quite generic rebomb from main, you know, trying to get the force out of Kratos. And it just ends in 2 frags.
I'm actually following Miralin to middle because he's stayed alive almost every middle, so I'm interested to see what kind of pressure he comes under this middle, see if Dogs have any answers to taking this medic down. He's going to come from the valley, he's walking up the slope currently buffing up his Soldier and Demo, Rib playing aggressive across point. He's under very little pressure from this Dogs lineup. They seem to be holding the train very well. Alpha will get the first exchange, Rib to go down, putting pressure across that point, but there seems to be quite good damage onto the Dogs team. But TLR currently have 4 players alive. Miralin opting just to arrow players passively, but Kratos has stayed alive this time. That may prove the difference, but I think he's being chased down underneath the point, and he is on 88%. He needs to look for this saw here. I don't know if he's going to Uber in time. He Ubers just in time, but I don't think he's going to get back out from there.
Look how far away he is. He's got so far to run. 10% only left. He's going to kill himself. The wise choice. It seemed like a really even team fight for most of that middle, just chipping away, but all of a sudden Alpha's negotiated a position behind in house and just gets so much damage off.
And there was an attempt from
play.
Sheepy going on to Miralin there, but the master of dodging himself has survived, I think, almost every middle. He's gonna force his team through now.
Alfie's behind though. He comes in for the bomb, 1 rocket, cannot get a second rocket off. Miralin surfs away on 50 HP, hangs onto that Uber, and he's put his team in a great position to walk into this last. They get an early frag on Nation as well, and look, Hildriff just trapped on the floor. They've got this point absolutely locked down before they even finish capping Spike, and they will get it, and that is GG for the first map.
Yeah, very impressive performance from TLR. I mean, there were some margins there that obviously Dogs could have come in and took a round or 2 early, settled the nerves, but TLR really punished them and turned up the heat when they were making those mistakes, notably the back cap attempt that they did actually stabilise the middle from. Obviously turning maybe a turning point in the game, CommanderX, and they've just gone on in 15 minutes and taken Dogs out of this map.
Yeah, I think it was impressive from TLR. Like, they did everything they needed to do, and you can only beat what's in front of you. But it just seemed really blunt from Dogs. Like, whenever they put something going forward, they just either completely messed it up, disastrously, or just weren't very coordinated, or just didn't really have any sort of dominance in their positioning. They were constantly playing on the back foot, and it just allowed TLR to pretty much walk all over them.
Yeah, I think the key thing is on a map like Badlands, if you do not take the medic down, at the very least trade medics on the middle point, it's very difficult to push out from last. And obviously holding that Spire as well is vital, so getting players out alive really makes a difference. And we saw when Kratos did survive that onslaught from Alpha when he was chasing him around Haunter, they were able to push onto the 4th, but sadly they didn't take the Spire and push on from there. But it'll be interesting to see how they can address it going into the second map.
Yeah, I think Merlin died on the very first middle, but I think after that he survived pretty much all the middles. Yeah, really just telling Mateo there, like Kratos died 10 times in 13 minutes. Just giving TLR sort of a constant advantage to work with. It's always going to be hard, especially on Badlands when rounds can go so quickly.
Do we know what the second map will be?
No, unless anyone's written anything useful in chat.
Gullywash. Well, see, these are two very different maps. Despite the fact Gully is fast paced, and as famously you probably saw Bytes team TCM at the time capping in something ridiculous like 45-50 seconds. It's still a very fast paced map, but if they can get Kratos out alive, play more passively from the top left, and they can stay in it, I think they may give TLR a much closer game as we were originally expecting.
I think this mid will suit Dogs a lot more chance to take sort of more of a team fight. A lot more with Badlands as Roma, you sort of have to play quite direct no matter where you go. Like, unless you go for like a really long route round house, you kind of have to play in their face. Whereas I think Alfie prefers that more distraction-based, delayed role, when underneath on Gullywash gives a lot more options for that. And I think that'll help them buy more time in the mid. Because as you can see, like their scouts competed, even though, as much as you can in a 5-0 role. But I think if they can just get that better point presence and take it as more of a sort of straight feast, like 6v6 team fight on mid, I think they'll be able to sort some stuff out. And then as long as they can sort out like their advantage pushes, they should be able to get a few rounds on the board.
Yeah, I'm confident Dogs can come back into this and sort of brush that aside. I don't know how much of a difference it's making not having what I would call their star player there in Spud. I mean, Shockey has looked very assured. Miralin, these are very experienced players, and they seem to fit in with the TLR guys quite comfortably. And I have to say that Alpha, for me, was still quite impressive. He was getting a lot of early picks on the mid from what I saw, and getting some vital picks as well. So, be interesting to see what these guys can come back with.
Yeah, I think that's the best I've seen Alpha play in a while on a European server. So it's good to see from a TLR point of view. But yeah, hopefully a closer game on this map. Is there any news of any of the TLR players coming back at any point during these group stages, or?
As far as I know, War isn't available till later tomorrow evening. So I would suspect that Rib will fill in for this game, but I don't know how it works out later. I don't know how many games are left to play, or if they have to play Nerd Rage or anything like that. So I would imagine that they may have to switch Rib at some point. But I'm guessing Shockey's going to be there covering. As far as I know, Nico's got a sort of like family birthday, so I don't think he'll be back either.
Oh, okay. Oh well, but yeah, they're still playing pretty well. Like, if anything, at this point, if I'm Dogs, like, you know what I mean, playing with Mercs, don't take the result too much to heart, but I'd be kind of upset now with 5 of my main roster and TLR with a half mix. We got 5-0'd in 15 minutes, you know? There wasn't even a fight about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just having a quick look at the logs, and I was looking at how well that Alpha and AMS performed, you know, compared to Nation and Alfie. I mean, Alfie had little to no impact. I think he has to look at how he plays on these middles to make sure that he can do damage, but lower his KD, keep himself alive a little bit more. It looks to me like Alpha had a really good success. I mean, he had 20 kills,
Top
4
fragger,
assists,
yeah.
7 deaths, and he had 5k damage as Roma, taking a very small heal percentage. He only took 13%, which was the same as Alfie, and he did double his damage. I mean, it's easy to say that in a 5-0 role and to pick on one player, but I think that was quite noticeable how well he was doing on the middle Alpha in comparison.
Yeah, it's not always directly about damage, but certainly the impact that was had on middles. Like, there was 2 or 3 middles where Alpha either got, I think he got a really early frag on one, the other one he got like a 3k, sort of cleaning up late. Just, yeah, a variety of different things, just helping his team on mid, whether it be the early pick or the late picks.
I think the one thing to bear in mind on this map as well is that Badlands last is much more relentless to defend. You know, it's a lot easier to then, say, get the forward spawn as the attacking team and try to block the Spire and keep a lot of pressure on them on the last point until you cap. But on Gullywash, it's a very hard last to push. So that'll be interesting to see if Dogs can defend a little bit better and push back and roll them all the way back.
Like if in the previous map on Badlands, 4 of those rounds were 2 minutes or just over, whereas the one round where Dogs actually won a middle was sort of 5 minutes, like more than twice the length, a lot more of an even fight. So as long as Dogs can get... it'll be easy for Dogs to get a foothold in this map, not just to get rolled all the way back to last.
Yeah, I am pretty surprised by that scoreline, as I think a few others will be as well, given the fact that TLR are half a team. But the players that are playing, all 3 of them are very experienced. And I think
Rib and Mirror have played a lot together as well. It's not like,
yeah, and these guys have played in top teams all over for absolute years, and they've done very well. So, Shockey, I mean, he's not done the most damage stats-wise, but he's such a solid player. He'll always be in the right place at the right time, doing the right sort of stuff. So I hope they're going to put TLR under a lot more pressure, and we're going to see a game that's going to be a lot more exciting. I mean, the mids were over very quickly, a lot of frags exchanged, so it'd be good to see a more balanced and even game.
Yeah, hopefully. I think we're just waiting on Scrab to be right back, and then we should get into this. Oh, I'm told... Oh wait, sorry, no. I'm not told anything. Ignore that one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll just be sort of, imagine, straightforward sort of cookie-cutter lineups from both these teams. We see a couple of players warming up on Sniper, but there's no one in either of these teams that really, I guess, stands out as Sniper or snipes too regularly.
From what I hear, Alpha is supposed to be quite a good sniper, but I've not seen him snipe, so I really can't confirm that.
I don't think so. I think if he snipes now, it's just hyping, and he gets like the adjustment. I don't have any particularly strong memories of Alpha hitting big shots. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but maybe not. Chad's saying I can't deny that Alpha is good at Sniper. Oh, my game crashed. Rest in peace. Hold on.
I think Scrab will be a couple of minutes until he's returns, so there's no huge urgency. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what Dogs can come back with here. How well Hildreth plays as well. He didn't seem to play too poorly last game, but he did finish with particularly low damage and low kill death. But Rib wasn't that much higher than him. I think it was kind of a all-around team perspective, but it does look like they've ready. The plugins are unloading, so I'll take us to middle here, and we are going live. So you're watching the second map on Team Fortress TV, TLR versus Dogs.tf. I'm watching Alpha rolling out to middle. Looks like he's going to be going from the valley, sort of standard kind of rollout. Both soldiers from TLR opting to jump towards their top left-hand side. You can see Shockey probing a little bit around the point. A soldier bombs in. He does get taken down by AMS. But Hildreth does use that distraction to push across the point. He gets 2 picks. Rib and Herpy go down quite early. Fairly even fight here. There's actually 4 for 4. Scrab and Hildreth to go against Mirrolin and Alpha. Alpha does crater, so it looks like Mirrolin will get chased down, but that scout of Scrab is very low, and Mirrolin's firing arrows, pre-firing them into the choke. Very confident, but he will go down to Scrab and Hildreth, who will chase them into the choke point. That first opening middle will go to Dogs.
And I'm back. Game has fully loaded, and we are back up and running. So, yeah, what we talked about, Dogs not just getting a foothold in this game, but taking the first mid. And they're even going to have an uber advantage due to, I presume, Kratos' earlier death.
Yeah,
it's actually crit
Kratos does
streak
have
as
a
well.
45% advantage, and he is running crits, as we said. It looked like it was going to be a similar sort of story without Alfred dying fairly early on the mid, but they did rectify that with some good pressure from Hildreth across the point. They've now set the choke point. TLR going ridiculously aggressive there with AMS. He will get picked up through the choke point. It looks like Sheepy will push in, get a pick. TLR capitulating here. Mirrolin running back top, trying to get back very low on HP. He will be chased down by Nation, but he's only spamming from far. I think they should have gone a little bit more aggressive there, CommanderX, but that's 3 down. They're going to stabilise. Kratos did go down in the exchange, so it's actually worked out probably quite well for TLR.
Yeah, in the long term, it's going to come out better. It was a really weird play. AMS just decided to sort of just man mode it through choke into people, open up space for Alpha to come in and actually get the pick on to Kratos. Now they're going to push out with an Uber advantage, ticking over to 95% now, and they've actually got Merlin out without taking too much damage. Here comes the bomb. Only 50 damage though. Alfie can't find the force, and now AMS is going to take this Uber charge into them.
Yeah, and I'm just following AMS here. There is one pick from Rib onto Nation. AMS chasing hopelessly through the choke point. He might overextend a little bit here because the Uber is going to end, but he does have the support of a scout, and Dogs don't have much support at all. The soldier will spawn too late to support that defense of his medic. 4 players hovering now hopelessly. I think they look like they don't know what to do. They've lost their medic. Kratos now going to be spawning at the back spawn, CommanderX.
Yeah, good positioning from Merlin and the rest of TLR throughout that fight. They only sacrificed AMS's position to get there, and now they're going to use that advantage to come in through the low ground. Alpha doing a good job, scoping out up top, going to get 1 frag, force the scout back as well. And the heals are only just coming onto Dogs now. Dogs can forward hold at best here. I'm not sure why they're peeking so deep up top. They might lose the scout here for their troubles. Sheepy gets out on 6 HP. Definitely no need to take that fight, but he gets away with it, and now we're going to have a full 6 players up on last to defend, but they will be facing an Uber disadvantage, and it looks like TLR want to come straight in Riverside.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised to see no heavy stack classes from Dogs. Quite a poor defensive setup, given the fact there's a huge Uber disadvantage. The Uber will come in from TLR. They do very little with it as they rotate through the spawn, but they're baiting players on the point. 2 players will go down, 4 players down for Dogs. Easy round for TLR.
Yeah, Hildreth kind of messed up. He was playing from water, which is probably the best position to be in as Demo Man when holding against Uber disadvantage, but he just let a scout through underneath him, then found himself in that awful situation of sort of Demo versus Scout 1v1, and just got picked off, and then that meant the rest of the Dogs players had to drop to the point to make up for the lack of stickies on it, and it just made it pretty simple for TLR, who are coming on to this next mid. Scout takes a load of damage really early, and that's Scrab going down to low health. Dogs are still trying to get the high ground. Soldiers with a huge bomb. Nation goes straight onto Rib. Excellent play there. Really opened it up. And they're going to clean everyone up. It's now just Alpha and P left on opposite sides of the map, both on low health. They're going to really... Actually, P does get 1 frag at choke. Nice from P. Might be able to rescue his own life now off of that. And I think Alpha's now...
Watch this soldier coming underneath. Alpha's underneath. He's going to try and jump up. No, he's actually just opting to jump back into the red side. A soldier has spotted him on the forward spawn, so they trade rockets. But an excellent middle from Dogs. Both soldiers. Nation going in first with a good distraction. Alpha using that distraction, coming in from under, and that's an excellent mid from Dogs. There is a full Uber charge advantage, but this scout is getting baited out on his own. 2 picks from TLR, despite an advantage for Dogs. Dogs will pop late, but it's completely useless. They're actually using it to get back. They don't even get the pick on the scout. They have to give up the position, and a full Uber charge advantage. 60% going into the favour of Merlin now.
Yeah, they're going to spot out Alfie as well, so he was hiding for the force, but that's going to be neutralised. They're probably going to leave Scrab underneath. Wow, big shot from Scrab to take down. And actually the medic drops into him! Merlin drops straight into Scrab. Scrab picks him on 10 HP. What was that?
Excellent work from Scrab there as he gets a 2k. But Dogs has still got 3 players down. TLR have taken the middle as well. Kratos on 60%. He's juking the scout. Shockey's onto Kratos. No one's helping him at all. Kratos will go down on his own. 3 players down for Dogs at the moment as well, as TLR cap off their second point.
Yeah, Nation found himself sort of caught out at choke after he lost his medic there. Comes back in and kills Rib, so pretty decent effort from him. But Serotonin, Merlin will have the Uber advantage here. It's just going to be building it up while they wait for Kratos to respawn on the defense. And again, we don't really see too much off-classing from any of the Dogs players here, despite the disadvantage.
But Alpha gets a great shot onto Sheepy as he jukes back round that corner on Riverside. I think they're going to use that pick. They have a full Uber advantage. Sheepy on the spawn queue, 5 seconds remaining. I think they'll look to go now while 1 player's down, take that advantage. Soldier launching in of AMS and Alpha, great pressure on the right side spawn. They only get Hildreth for their efforts though, and they'll take down Alpha, who's Shocky coming in late to finish that frag, and they'll take the point in the meantime.
Yeah, both of these pushes to last so far, they've been able to get Hildreth pretty early on, and when you have an Uber advantage and you pick the Demo Man with that Uber advantage, it makes it so much easier to sort of bait to the point and just clean it up. I think Hildreth maybe needs to make more of an effort to just make himself harder to kill, more difficult to get to. to try and give him a bit of a chance in these difficult situations. And now we see TLR get the high ground pretty early, and we're even going to force the early frag onto Sheepy. They've done so much damage. Dogs are going to have to try and get the health back at their choke and come back out, but they're just walking into a field of spam. Only 2 of them left. Hildrift's super low. Kratos is trying to get slices, but he'll go down as well, and that's a full wipe, but they did get Merlin.
A very poor middle from Dogs. I watched Nation walking through the shithouse, and he took some early spam underneath from Alpha, and they went down and they were so slow pushing through their shithouse. They baited the whole team on point. 3 of the combo players just backing off through the choke and capitulating because half the team was already removed by TLR. But they did exchange for the medic. That'll give them a chance of a defense on last. There's a little bit of exchange up top from Alfie. I don't know if you look to go for Miralin.
They walk straight into the hiding soldier of AMS. AMS is going to pick up 2, and this has just opened the door, swung wide open. Alfie's going to do his absolute best, but there's only so much you can do against 4 players and buffs. And just sloppy there from Dogs, you know, like AMS hiding in the most standard of spots to hide in lobby, and Kratos and Hildrift just both kind of wander into him after Nation gets picked.
I'm actually following Nation right now as he equalises out through lower. He was quite a big player in the 2 mids they won so far out of the 3. I'm watching Nation going under. Looks like he's going to jump onto the top of the point, contest the Soldier flying into the air. Hildrift gets an early pipe, AMS exchanging on Scrab, but Alfie will get a pick. Nation going in deep now onto the Scout, but the Scout and the Soldier between them will take him down. 4 down for Dogs. Kratos surfing through the choke point. I think he'll be chased by AMS. Kratos the only person alive now. Miralin currently down. Jumped with an excellent saw, but Herpy will follow that up and take Kratos down.
Yeah, Kratos did his best, but there's only so much you can do with 2 players breathing down your neck like that. Again, Kratos ends up with quite a late spawn, which is going to open the door for Miralin to build up his crit streak and gain that advantage. Last time they tried to push with crits, Dogs threw the defense before they even got to 100%. So we'll see what Dogs are planning this one. A much more passive hold this time, not peeking into lobby.
Yeah, it looks like Dogs are not very well prepared for these defences with such a huge disadvantage. They should have heavy stack defence. It looks like they're going to switch onto the heavy. There's no pyro though, which would deny that top left door and Riverside should they choose. But AMS will go down. That will help the defence slightly if they want to use that charge advantage. If they wait for AMS, I think Kratos will have full charge in that time. But it looks like they're aware of that. Rib will push through the top left. He'll crit Sticky onto the heavy. Heavy will go down. Looks like fairly even though, CommanderX.
Yeah, Rib's got a couple of frags onto the point, and now Hildrift, he stayed alive, but he's the only player to stay alive, so he is completely vulnerable to Herpy, and he will go down. And again, clean push from TLR, not too much trouble at any point, even though they didn't get too much done with the crit streak itself.
Yeah, very early pressure on that push. It looked like they would hold, but not so good from Dogs on the later stage of that defense. But it looks like we've got a pause coming in, CommanderX.
Yes, we do. I don't know who's... Oh, let me see if I can find out. I still see 12 people on the server, like real time, so maybe just someone's having some internet problems. Maybe someone's lost another chicken. Tactical pause.
Looks, it's such a shame from Dogs. I think it's been 2 middles apiece, and they've had some good opportunities to kick on from there. But I can see some players moving now, sliding around this rollout.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see Rib go straight forward to choke, pick up that health back, trying to put that early damage on, but wow, here comes the Soldier, flying straight into him. Big opening from Alfie on his mid. We now see Nation counter-jumping the aggressive Soldier on his side, and no position for TLR whatsoever. They actually do... Alfie went behind and killed Merlin as well. We said we needed bigger mids from Alfie, and he certainly provided one there. And TLR Herpy is going to be cleaned up as well, and it's going to be tough now. Shocky just hanging around, see if he can just sort of stumble across a play. And it's actually set it up for AMS who was hiding, but he peaks too early, and Alfie will clean him up.
Yeah, all 3 of the middles that Dogs have taken so far have been instigated by Nation and Alfie. Really impressed with how they've turned things around in the middle. They just have to cement this push now, CommanderX, and I'm watching them come through lower. Soldier and the Scout going to push in, combo push in, but the double donk does knock them back slightly. They're over-committing onto the heavy. Nobody's far enough forward to get the focus down. Looks like they may flop this push.
Actually, Alfie's going to bait to point and get the frag on the Demo Man. That might have just saved this push. They're trying to focus players down. They kill the Scout and the Soldier at the same time. Merlin has no one left to heal. And nice from Dogs. Nice, clean, confident push.
Yeah, the pushes have been so strange. Early they've been very equal, and then all of a sudden things have just capitulated as the damage has come in late. I was worried they were going to throw that push after the heavy stayed alive for so long. But I'm going to follow the Red Demoman of Hildreth right now for Dogs, as he's just on. He's going to rotate through the shithouse. He's a little bit slow getting early damage down. Soldiers will exchange in the air. Kratos trying to encourage his demo to move forward, and Dogs will lose 3 players quite early. Dogs should back out quite early from this mid, but Kratos is going to go down in the exchange as AMS gets an equalizer kill in the choke point.
Yeah, and there's just no sync. Like, Nation and Alfie were, and I think it was maybe Sheepy, they weren't doing the most damage with their bombs, but they were certainly in the other team's face and taking up their time, their ammo, and that really should have been the opportunity for Scrab and Hildreth to get all over them and just pump out free damage. But yeah, Hildreth a bit slow, both getting to middle and then reacting to his team's aggression.
I'd like to see him push onto the top left, like roll out top left rather than walk through, and see Nation come in a little bit quicker than walk up the shithouse sometimes. When they've done that more aggressively, they've certainly benefited from it. But I'm going to watch Mirrolin come in with in Riverside at the moment. They seem to be hanging around a little bit. I think they're waiting to buff players as they come in from Riverside. Heavy stack defense are much better from Dogs. This should help them to hold. It's 1-for-1 on the early exchange, but as we've seen before, damage is coming rather late. Heavy doing his job, trying to put loads of pressure. The Heavy is still alive, quite equal at the moment, but Dogs have got a slight disadvantage. Both scouts are still up though. This will work in their favour. Great cleanup from Sheepy and Scrab at the end there, CommanderX.
Yeah, really good. You saw Hildreth with Sickies underneath this time, getting that really early pick on Shocky. He has respawned a Spy, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near quick enough to set up a play on its last point. I believe instead he's going to wait for Kratos, and we see him just cloaked, hiding, using that cloak and dagger. And he's got Alpha sniping on Big Door, so he must be baiting. The medic will be coming that way. Kratos hiding from the sniper, but no one has any idea there's a spot here. He uncloaks, he's on the soldier's head, he misses the stab. Nation kills himself with the splash damage trying to get in. The Ambassador comes out, he hits the headshot, then finishes off Kratos. Shocky better with a gun than a knife, but he gets the pick either way. But they've lost everyone else in the process, so now Alpha and Merlin are just trying to get out, but there's a scout behind. 100 damage onto Merlin, he's missing the rest of the shots, but Melee comes out, Scrub fluffs the shots. Alfie's trying to get behind as well, but runs into respawners, and really Scrab should have had that pick. Yeah,
so disappointing from Dogs. You saw as well there, Scout ran down to help his Scout into lower. Let Mirrolin effectively stay alive by backing off to the point. There was only a sniper there with the medic. They were totally defensive. 2 scouts would have picked both players. But obviously now we're watching Dogs with another disadvantage to Mirrolin. It looks like we have another pause in. I think Alfie's lagging, CommanderX.
Yeah, clearly TLR are struggling, so they're DDoSing Alfie.
Seen it before? It's
yeah,
not the first time Dogs were DDoS.
Dropped round, cannot stand it. Will DDoS.
Yeah, it seems to me that this has been very much a case of Dogs almost there. They're nearly doing things right, and then kind of failing in some situations. And TLR just seem to have that extra experience and they're sort of seeing the game through.
It's hard because that spy play in reality seemed pretty unlucky. Do you know what I mean? Like Shocky messes it up, but then Nation was weak enough that he killed himself with splash damage. Like Shocky didn't plan that, and that's just coincidence. And we get unlucky with that, and ultimately leads to them dropping their medic just as they're walking through the door. But then at other times they have just kind of fluffed it. But that one clear chance they got to push in last, they nailed it and just got the round. And now we see them actually hanging on, but they've lost their demo man to a sniper pick, and that's just going to force the rest of them to back straight up just to keep Kratos alive. But again, they've got a big uber disadvantage.
Yeah, TLR taking that point virtually for free. Demo man's down, they'll be able to walk as far as they like if they do not focus the spam down now, Dogs. But they will wait for these respawns of Alpha and AMS. I doubt very much they're going to go in. But they are looking like they're preparing. The scouts are going to go anyway. Looks like they're going to be happy for those spawners to join later. The scout can't finish Kratos off. Looks like there's a little bit of warping going on this this last point, CommanderX.
Yeah, I think they're planning to change server after the round. But depending on how these plays turn out, it could be quite a while. Shocky is hiding in Sneaky for a Batcat though. They put some stickies on it, and Alfie is there, but it will be a 1v1. On last, Shocky is waiting and waiting and waiting. Alfie's now actually gone to check water and pushed out, and because he's checked water, he's presumed he's fine. He's going to jump back, but he won't make it.
This is the kind of unfortunate stuff that we were talking about. CommanderX really, really unlucky. They had a good hold there, but it does look like there was a lot of lagging going on. So it'd be interesting to see how that affected things.
Yeah, especially like I know Alfie could have just stayed on last, but also, do you know what I mean? If you have a load of lag during a sort of team fight where you're trying to hold last, right, that can really throw you off. And then when you come back into it, maybe you've missed something or you don't remember something, and that's how people, you know, get behind. And he just didn't check sneaky, and there we go.
They have actually ended this game. I don't know if they ended that early.
They're changing server is what the plan is. They said they wanted to change after this round, so they're switching server because I think there's still like 15 minutes left of the match. So, you know what I mean? It's worthwhile swapping server for potentially 15 more minutes of TF2 action. Yeah,
it looks the logs were recording about 16 minutes of playtime. It does look a very similar sort of story to what we saw on Badlands. Alpha and AMS sort of dominating, but Shocky having a particularly good performance with a high amount of damage as well. But yeah, it'd be definitely interesting to see. I think it's going to be very difficult for Dogs to come back from a 5-1 scoreline, but we'll see. It's you know, anything can happen in TF2. It's quite a fast map in terms of from last point to last point. So if they can switch things on and get a little bit more fortunate luck on their side, I think they could turn it around.
You know what I have been noticing, right? So when TLR win a mid, right, they go and they win the round. One time, Dogs won a mid and they won a round as well. Twice, Dogs won a mid and they lost the round. But it seems to be like Dogs fail one push and then it's just rolled back, like there's no fight back. You know, quite often when you get these sort of seesaw battles, back and forths and whatnot, it doesn't really seem to be much of that. Like either there was like one time Dogs went forward and the rest of the time TLR seem in complete control.
Yeah, it's been really bizarre because Dogs have taken a good number of mids and they've done very little with it, where TLR have kind of stomped through and they look so much more assertive when they're going through a choke point on the pushes. They seem. I think that may be the influence of somebody like Miralin. You know, he instills so much belief and confidence into the team when he can avoid so much damage. It's almost. I've seen players literally turn away and not shoot at Miralin because they know of his dodging capabilities. Sometimes I've seen maybe that's kind of the reason Alfie's been struggling so much, because he is going up against, I think, the world's best dodger, really. Yeah,
he's also like he's making it difficult for himself, not necessarily just him, but his team. You know what I mean? He's going for these solo bombs. When you've got you use one rocket to jump, maybe two rockets to jump, and then you've got either 2 or 3 shots to do 150 damage to someone who's trying their best to dodge your rockets, as well as having like 3 or 4 people shooting you. Like he's going up lots of these like sort of solo plays or just hiding plays.
Yeah, I think the middles he's definitely been better, and same for Nation. I mean, it's been a bit hit and miss, but at least they've done a lot better on the middles this time compared to Badlands.
Yeah, the middles have been much better. It's just the transitional plays, you know. Again, when I was talking about Dogs, sort of once they lose one team fight, they just get rolled back point by point by point. It's these sort of plays, you know what I mean? Like the hiding plays not working out, the solo forces from Alfie not coming off. If those plays don't come off and you sort of go all in just for your Roma to force, then you've got nothing. You've not forced for either on CP2. You've still just got either disadvantage for last. And TLR have been ruthless with those pushes so far.
I think that's where you see the difference in experience and players that can adapt to situations and not repeat the same errors, if you like. And I think that's where you take that step up from top 4 to to being a winner division. It'd be interesting to see how Alfie could sort of come back in these next 10 minutes if we can see the remainder of the time limit through.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly more for Dogs to take from this performance than before. At least they've got something going for them. Yeah, was this? Do you know if it was a Dogs pick or TLR's pick?
Really don't know, but I would imagine. I don't think TLR
is it map
would
winner
pick
or map loser? Yeah.
I don't think it's a map that TLR would pick, but you never know. I think Badlands would have been a good choice for TLR given the mercs. That's probably why they chose it.
Where do you think overall then, like say like main full TLR lineup, where are their strengths map-wise?
Yeah, it's difficult to say with the changes they've had. I think anywhere where a demo man can be more effective. So kind of like skipping, it's like Granary, for example, you can't have a huge impact as a demo, I would argue. Like Soldiers reign supreme, so I think anywhere where War would feel more comfortable, something like Snake Water, Gully Wash, where demos can do early damage and big damage as well. I think they'll probably be better. But obviously War isn't here today, and Rib is a very different demo man.
Yeah, Rib's it's weird with Rib because his raw damage output isn't the same, but he's a bit quicker, he's less heal dependent, so he's a bad demo man. Obviously it's a very different style.
Yeah, he is. He's
for the team to play around. I think we have a connect to Mumble as well.
Just making my way onto the server. Looks like all the guys are on this new server, raring to go.
The debate is currently whether it was 14 minutes and 33 seconds left or 14 minutes and 34 seconds left. P wanting to play not a second longer than he officially has to.
I'm sure Dogs are arguing for the
we need the extra second. Yeah. We'll have to get in Sideshow to make a sort of grand sweeping decision on which second we go to. I imagine we'll be starting pretty prompt. We're all connected now. And we will see if we just waited 5 minutes to watch one round or if we will get a full 40 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like they've set the timer to 40 minutes 15.
Oh, controversy here. They're going to spend all this time discussing it, and then it's going to end in like the next 2 minutes or something. Okay, here we go. Live again after the server change for TLR versus Danger Dogs. Danger Dogs need to win this map to stay in it, basically. They are 4 rounds down, current score 5-1, and a scout is going massively aggressive straight onto Rib. The Scrab will get picked up, but he's forced for frag anyway. And now they've got the massive high ground disadvantage, and they're running sniper heavy, Shocky on heavy. They're just trying to make space, and Alpha is reeling off the headshots. I think that was 3 in a row, 4 in a row. Really opened that up. I'm still going to stick to my guns and still claim he's not that great at sniper compared to the other snipers going to I-55. But no headshots. That just won it for TLR there.
Yeah, that excellent headshots from Alpha. Shocky coming in now slowly through the choke point. They weren't going to chase that medic down with a heavy, but they've got some good positioning, Dogs. The Soldier does launch a little bit further. Shocky will take down Hildreth, which is, bad. It's bad from Dogs, really. They've lost 2 players needlessly on the second point. TLR haven't even captured the point. Scrab looking to see if he can block early. Alpha's still quite passive, but they're going to have to give up second now just purely from losing those 2 players. And again, some really poor play from Dogs.
Yeah, they've lost that defense of CP2 before TLR heavy event attacks it. Like, they've just gifted it to them, and now they're going to get to use this Uber advantage. Oh, well, not advantage, but just Uber charge on last, and that's exactly where they want it. And they've already got the heavy, they've already got the sniper, they're in a big position, they're going to get that early pick. Dogs' positioning here is questionable at best. They will trade the Uber, so it shouldn't be too bad, except Sheepy catches the splash damage from that pipe. They lose Scrab somewhere else. I don't know if Dogs are just out of ideas right now, but it's starting to get really sloppy. And it's just a matter of time now, surely, before TLR decide to just walk in with their numbers.
Yeah, Dogs are really up against it now. They've got 2 players in spawn queue. One has just spawned. Scrab will get the spawn. TLR maybe a little bit generous on Dogs there, but they do have the heavy and sniper, which will slow them down. Sheepy going down needlessly to Rib. Looks like that was on main. And Alpha's trying to peek from Riverside. A little bit of pressure here from Alfie. Looks like Rib's going to get another scout pick. Really poor from Dogs from a defensive perspective when they should be stacking heavy defense. Looks like Shocky's going to walk very slowly in as well.
Yeah, they're just trying to distract right now. AMS is biding his time. He's uncloaked now. He's walked up. Kratos has most definitely seen him. He's going to turn his back for the split second, trying to run away. Alpha is going to get the soldier as AMS goes down, and Kratos is pretty low. He's going to have to actually pop from the spam down to 5 health. Merlin's milking this as well, so they're going to have a much later Uber. Hildriff does not have time to get in a position. Kratos kills himself for a faster respawn. That's questionable. As they do drop around pretty quick. Again, clinical from TLR. Yeah, and that's 6-1. TLR take it.
Yeah, it's such a shame to watch that from Dogs. They had an opportunity on second, getting their medic out, throwing that last round away, which was pretty much the story of the game, really, CommanderX. And it's kind of, that could have been a lot closer if Dogs had been on it in terms of their pushes and the coordination, but clearly missing Spud quite dearly.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the logs. I imagine there's not going to be much. I think was it 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most? The final round? Yeah, 3 minutes. Again, not much to see from it. Alpha with some big stats, around sniping on middle. But yeah, I'd be pretty disappointed if I was Dogs. I know it's not a full roster and it's not, there's not too much to play for in this cup. But really disappointing performance more than anything.
I think we are joined by a couple of players, CommanderX from TLR's lineup. It looks like Muradin wants to be included in the party as well.
We'll see. Who's here? AMS? P?
Hello. We have Serotonin fake nicking as Muradin in the channel above us.
Oh, okay. I don't want to talk to Serotonin either. So, where are all your players at?
Yeah.
Is that the best British accent you're gonna do?
You just sound like a frog.
Yeah, my name is Seroton. What's up?
Yeah, but Nico's sister's birthday. War has something.
Is War at Nico's sister's birthday?
I think War's at work, actually.
I think War is Nico's sister.
So yo, mate, how you doing, mate?
And Marlin is filling in for Sarah, and I can't actually remember where he is.
I'm not Marlin, I'm just fake nicking, really. This guy is so much of the passion for me.
So, I don't know, what was it to take of that? Like, me and Hiss were talking, and we were just sort of, I don't know, it seemed, you guys played well, you did what you needed to do, but it seemed like Dogs weren't very good, like, at all. I don't know if is that how Dogs normally perform against you, the same kind of result, or?
They've been slamming us in scrims lately, or not like, consistently, but they did destroy us the last time they played them.
We lose one map, and every time you lose one map, you go like,
we lost that map 6-1, so...
Yeah.
It sounds like there's some bad memories there.
I woke up 10 minutes into the map, and then we start losing because I hadn't played it yet.
Either way, they've been being a lot better in scrims than tonight. I don't know.
What's the difference then? The Hildriff or just a bad day?
Don't know. I think Hildriff did fine. Spud is obviously, at least DM-wise, a lot better than Hildriff though, but... I don't know. I don't think it was only that. Probably also an off day. And we were playing pretty good, even with frameworks.
I think you also have to kind of compare to like the season Dogs, where they had QNX calling together with Kratos on Pocket, compared to not to disparage Nation playing, but I think like the calling element is different.
Yeah, it tends to be like a lot more like just sloppy stuff from Dogs, you know what I mean? Just like poor positioning or just like careless positioning.
Yeah, and then it had to have like Marlin Chocker there because they called out quite a lot when it came to just like, yeah, we can go on them now just based on positioning. And when we started doing that, you just start tilting with your positioning and then it just gets worse.
So was that the last game of today?
No, that's not the last game of today. We have coming up Lego versus Danger Dogs. That's the high point at which we end the day's group proceedings. In terms of Group 1 as well, the tournament structure nicely automatically did it for us, factoring in round difference and all sorts of other shenanigans, mainly round difference. And Reason Gaming and Full Tilt have gone through to the knockout stages. So NerdRage.tf2 left in 3rd place, and same as the playoffs.
How much salt
I'll see you
was
later.
involved?
Vast amounts, buckets. I could have mined the salt, and it would have kept a family of 4 preserved until humanity dies out.
I do often need to preserve families.
Specifically, families of 4.
Yeah.
One
Really
boy,
into nuclear
one girl.
families. Really into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a family structure.
So, Reason Gaming go into the knockout stages as the first seed from that group, Full Tilt as the second seed. So it looks like Full Tilt will be going up against TLR at the beginning of tomorrow's knockout double elim bracket stage, where it really starts to get serious. And it's a bit of a battle of who's going to come second now, Lego or Dogs.
Are you trying to say that we are first?
What, sorry?
Are you trying to say that we are first?
Thirsty?
Yep.
I have no idea whether you're
It's all that
thirsty,
salt,
Merlin.
that's why you're so thirsty.
He's trying to say first, but in a British accent, and it's not really working out for him.
I see, right.
But
Yeah,
Marlin, how could we not be first when we just dropped like 2 rounds in 4 maps? You idiot.
I am not Marlin, please. I am Seroton.
Seroton's lost some brain cells since he forgot how to talk. I think he can't do basic maths. Yeah, you guys are first place in Group 2. It's between Lego and Danger Dogs. It literally is who manages to get the points out of that fixture as to who goes through to the knockout stages. Like if Lego can do it against the odds and manage to beat Dogs, who seem to be having a bit of an off day, then they will go through, and Nerd Rage will not.
When you guys play tomorrow, are you going to have more of your players, TLR people?
We're going to have everyone except War. War's going to be training a bit late. I think we're going to miss him for the first.
Oh, it's Sunday, isn't it? I can presume he's working.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
what time is it?
We're gonna have a very good war, Merc. Don't worry.
Yeah, what time are we starting tomorrow?
Here, does it start at the same time?
Yes, it's the same time. Starting tomorrow.
Totally asking for the viewers and not for myself here.
Absolutely. Oh yes, sorry, 17 CET rather than 16 is it CAST? I guess we're in summertime now. So yeah, 17 rather than 16, and that is tomorrow it's the double elim knockout stages, where the top 4 teams, the top 2 from each group, are going head to head, facing off against each other. That'll be broadcast hopefully on Team Fortress TV 2 as well as the main channel Team Fortress TV. So go over to Team Fortress TV 2, give that a follow as well, and keep your eye on that channel, because those games that are on the second channel will be just as good as the ones on the first channel for tomorrow, because they're going to be going on at the same time, and it's going to be a very, very interesting day. I'm cheering on my boys for the first place. Come on, Full Tilt.
Are you not playing again?
What, sorry?
Are you casting again, not playing?
Yes, I'm casting again and not playing. So
who's playing instead?
I've no idea actually.
Wasn't it
it's
Shadowburn
completely
today?
up to them. Yeah, it was Shadowburn.
It's worked out pretty well for them then.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go bribe him, so he's not gonna play for them. So we get it at least a bit easier.
Why would you bribe the better team? Why would you bribe like the lowest seeded team in the playoffs?
Because it would be really embarrassing if we like go through with three mercs today and then we just get fucked when we're like 5 normal people tomorrow.
Have you considered this team you used today is better than your main team, and that
Yeah,
you should cut
we're gonna bring
another 3
everybody to
players? Okay.
Yeah, it's food for thought. TLR to have some big shake-ups before LAN.
If they were to start switching players around, I think they start with me and Herpy, to be honest.
We haven't.
let's be
We're
honest
joined by Alpha in the Mumble as well. And we haven't even asked him what his opinions are of the EU scrub lords.
Well, it feels way different than playing in NA, because I don't know. I feel like in NA we, like, for example, we play more structured, I would say, but here like people they DM a lot, so it's like just different. Like, it would be like a 4v3 at mid, and the team that has 3 people would stay in and somehow win. It's like, it's crazy. Like, we don't really do that in NA.
Are you trying to say that we are brainless?
No, I'm saying you have good DM.
But you are brainless, Merlin. That's exactly what he's saying.
Well, that's really throwing stones in a glass house there, Sideshow.
It absolutely is.
I would say just more like confidence. More confidence in doing pushes and stuff. It's like playing more YOLO.
And your real challenge, I guess, will be tomorrow when you guys are facing off against Full Tilt, and you'll have to not go Full Tilt and still manage to keep cool and work it through. Did you catch the games in the Group 1 at the beginning, where everyone took rounds off each other? Do you think were you impressed, or are you guys just going to walk over them in the knockout stages?
I think
It's gonna be easy.
I think looking at like both Nerdrage and Reason played like really. I don't want to insult them, but they played pretty poorly. I felt like when I was looking at them, like there was like the 9-minute hold when no team wanted to push like on Sunshine last, and that's just like no reason to do that. And there was like so many weird things, like people just kind of I guess like they tilted. Like you were saying.
Are we to expect then you to revolutionize the metagame? You're going to consistently be pushing out of by pressing W at some point during the game. Is that what you're bringing to the table?
I think our basic idea is that we're going to tilt so hard that we go back into good territory.
You're going to do a 360-degree tilt.
Yeah.
That sounds like an excellent idea for a game plan. Yeah, that would in fact be
that is officially
full tilt.
Yeah.
That's the most tilted anything can be.
Well, you could do like several tilts in a row, you know, that's more tilting.
Shut up, P. Why are you still here?
I don't know, should we go?
Can we go to shoutouts?
Yeah, go on then, but if you start talking rubbish, I'm just going to kick you.
What?
Go on, Merlin, go on, I'll give you the floor.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to say thank you to everybody and to the viewers. I love all of you, you're all beautiful, you are my spirit. And of course the best shout out to you, because when I play it feels like I'm not alone. It's 1,000 people behind my back supporting me with all their strength, and feels really beautiful. I love you all. Cheers.
That was emotional.
Why do
It
you
brought
talk
a
like
tear to
Jimmy
my
Savile
eye.
when you get a shout out? Like, I don't...
Fantastic stuff. Has anyone else got any other shout-outs? Emotional
Yeah,
In a
I
Jimmy
have one.
Savile voice, please.
Okay, so shout out to my boy Freakazoid from Cloud9. Win it, bro. That would be it.
The multi-platform, multi-game shout-outs going on here then. Let's say thank you to the people who joined us in the interview then, and turn our attention to the Lego versus Dogs game, which will decide who the last team to enter into the knockout tournament tomorrow will be. Both of these teams are starting to trickle onto the server. Are you connected, CommanderX? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Well, you
I
can't
was
see
going to
me.
say, whoever wins this game, the real winner is going to be any salt distributors for when Nerd Rage see Dogs or Lego go through instead of them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some serious salt coming out here. It really was all in their hands, though. If they had not lost to Full Tilt, then there would be no reason for the salt. You know, it was all under their control.
Like a poor decision, yeah. So
It does, yeah.
At least the opening maps.
I don't understand why they did it, to be honest. Can you think of a reason? I don't get it. It's it was a classic Nerd Rage play though, because they enjoy finishing third place and claiming to be better than the teams that they finish below.
What happened? Did you cast the game? Did you see?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't cast the beginning game. I think it was Kratos and Beta that were casting the first game of Nerd Rage against Full Tilt. But the VODs will be up on YouTube, I am sure. The VODs will already be on Twitch as well if you want to catch those after we've closed down after these two maps. But for now, we've got Dogs versus Lego. And the Lego roster's a bit of a motley crew, but the Dogs are the same that you've seen previously, the same as their LAN team. Lego were going to be bringing a team to LAN as well. They're a team that have played around the Premiership and Division 1 level of Europe for a long time now, but never particularly had that eureka moment and improved CX. They've always stayed at pretty much the same level. Do you think that's fair?
Consistent 7th place in Prem.
Yeah, and they don't really seem to improve season on season, or really even change season on season.
They changed their roster quite a lot. Like, they kind of stay the same, but their roster or classes change around every season. and then they kind of restabilize back to where they were originally.
Yeah, and they always like to sit around the level where they can't get accused of sandbagging Div 1, but they don't have enough they don't have enough passion or ability to really compete at a Prem level. But in terms of this cup, and in terms of if they were to go to I-55 or something like that, you can change a lot just by it being a high pressure LAN environment. The way that ETF2L is run, they have no opportunity to be in kind of an upset situation apart from the officials, which are 2 maps, and it's there's not particularly a sense of occasion like there is in a high pressure either LAN or tournament situation. So Lego can certainly bring something out the bag, and given that Dogs haven't been performing particularly well in that last game, what was it, 5-0 and then 6-1?
Yep. We're going live. I don't know why Dimul has just asked, do you have ping?
Do you have ping? Yes, I have ping.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, well, they started it off there with Demo going really aggressively underneath. He's going to go up the drop down and come up behind Hildreth. Hildreth's knocked down to 40 health, but Nation's found the frag onto Demo, and he's bombing in now, trying to get really aggressive on everybody else. Only Josh and Sorex left in a position to do, and no, Dr. Phil's in. Dr. Phil is in, but he's decided to use pipes, and he's throwing them towards Kratos in a desperate attempt to hit something incredible and frag him, but they have managed to bully them out at the moment. Actually, Sorex and Dr. Phil combining together to put a lot of damage onto Sheepy, and he takes an arrow, and he's going to be going really aggressive now, trying to pick up the frag on Dr. Phil. Does actually manage to get it, and there comes the frag on Sorex as well. It is eventually going to go the way of Dogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that scout didn't just shoot that, because there was one sticky basically holding Hildreth out of choke, so if if that scout had turned around and shot the sticky at any point, it probably would have been a lot more comfortable with a backup from his demo man. But it works out for them anyway. And now we're going to move forward. There's a soldier going for the high bomb, Dimul getting all over them. He has ping, but he does not have the force in him.
No.
They're just going to keep moving it forward. Should be able to take this to last pretty uncontested, but Condom is starting to close in on that Uber.
Yeah, they've got another 10 seconds before Condom gets his Uber up, so they need to be fast with this. They need to get in and they need to get onto him. They're leading with Nation and Hilda through this bottom entrance. The Uber charges pop, but Condom is so far back, and he's on 95%. There is the potential to still pick him up, but he's got it now. They're trying to play the points. They're forced to use it as Scrab is getting all the cap time. He's still duking around them. Josh can't find the frag, and they're still all on the point when the Uber fades. Position here so much better for Dogs.tf, and they're just desperately trying to finish off these frags before the spawners come in. Look at these 2 spawners though, Dr. Phil and the scout coming in, and they're going to be able to clean up Dogs.
Yeah, they're trying for a play underneath, but Hildreth is spotted out and Josh will clean them up. There is one more soldier, Alfie, hanging around Riverside. He's going to go, but he's actually going for the medic instead. Gets 1 rocket off before he gets taken down, and this should be a pretty comfortable push out. Just the respawning scouts to worry about, and wow, pretty comfortable, I say, but no, Scrab gets him and just drops Condom. Josh will get the return frag and they'll pick up CP2. They might even get another one. Nice work from Josh, actually, catching out that second scout. And now Josh just wants to keep ploughing forward. Going to jump on top of this soldier. Gets him super weak as well. Dr. Phil's cut off for Demoman as well. Sorex is rushing in. We'll finish that one off. Josh steals the frag as well. They're still pushing aggressive. 26 health left on Kratos, but he will sneak out down sneaky. But now we see the Maul going in. He's going to pick up the scout. He's going to go up top as well, just trying to buy time right now, getting the health pack.
Yeah, he's taking a little duel with Alfie up top there, but Sheepy's going to finish Demo off, and Alfie goes aggressive as well, but can't quite find the frag on Condom. Did about 60 damage to him, and Sheepy's dueling Josh as well. This is an entry into the second point that is being heavily contested here. Dogs do not want to give it up in the slightest, and they're getting all of these frags, managing to pin Lego in a bad situation, and Sorex needs to back off here because the Uber charges are still quite away from coming into play, and the numbers advantage quite firmly in favor of Dogs.tf. But there's a sniper on the field. Demul is a pretty good sniper, and his scope at the moment just looking over towards where Kratos has positioned himself.
Yeah, everyone's hiding behind a wall right now, not going to let them in. They're going to try and come through this big door straight into the sniper anyway. They're going to need to either take it slow. Actually, they pop early because the soldier eats a pocket. It's a fully charged body shot. They're going to force out the scout here. They've maybe trapped everyone at choke, but they've given Condom enough time to get his Uber. He will pop it off, but they should be able to clean up a lot of the players here. Scout trapped in. He should go down. There we go. SweetStakes will clean up Scrab, and we've got so many frags. Just Nation and Kratos left. A complete flop of an Uber push here, and they're gonna have to give up middle because of it.
Yeah, they completely back out of there, and they're still running the sniper. Oh no, it's actually it's Sheepy on the sniper in spawn now. He's gonna try and get a shot over on Big Dog. Condoms realise that he's there, and he hits one into Dr. Phil's chest as well, but he's getting spammed out now by Josh. But he's opened the door for Scrab to try and come in, but they're just not quite hitting their shots here on Condom, and he's able to distract enough for the rest of his team to move in from choke, start the camp time, and Dogs forced back onto their last Lego. Look like they're doing pretty well out of this. They are dictating the flow of the game at the moment, and they have an opportunity to push into last and seal the deal.
Oh yeah, really just disjointed play from everyone. Do you know what I mean? Lots of sort of solo play, solo attempts for the medics, etc. Nothing really coming together. We now see the Uber coming in from main. Frags are traded, but nothing's really achieved. The Uber has not come out from Kratos. He will pop now. They will get this soldier out of it, but they were holding quite deep, so I'm not sure how much more they can really get after this soldier frag. They're going to keep walking out anyway. But there's actually a soldier going behind throughout all of this. Demul wants to take for one-on-one. Is actually going to base it back and fight the scout instead. Nice rockets from Demul, but that scout had a buff and will not die. And this should make the push out pretty comfortable. They just have to avoid the spam as they go along.
Dr. Phil's chucking pipes in here, trying to see if he can connect with somebody who's just getting onto that point, but they're content just to give up the second here with Demul down, and they'll set up a defense around choke. Dr. Phil's still trying to spam people, delay them from coming in a little bit, and Demul's going to be respawning and getting with them very shortly. Condom's got a 30% Uber advantage as well, and the Dogs.tf team should know that. They're repositioning themselves up top. Perfectly timed as Condom now gets the Uber charge, and Josh walks in over a sticky trap, and Dr. Phil's going to jump really aggressively. They really want to take down Kratos here, but they've committed so deep for him. Dr. Phil's going to give his own life, and they really haven't got very much damage onto Kratos at all, but he's been caught. Josh caught him in that riverside area, and Kratos just, I think he underestimated how far forwards Josh was, and just put himself in a poor position where he was easily picked up.
Yeah, because Josh took no initial damage from that sticky trap as well, it meant he was still 200 health like once the Uber faded, even though he was detached from his medics. So he was walking forward, Sheepy was down to 40, so he has to play defensively because he's one-shottable, and it just forces him into a bad position that Josh can capitalise on. Really strong opening from Josh so far as well, as Dogs actually forced the pick onto the mall, just bursting into this lobby, trying to take the fight to Condom. Really risky push out here. And they do get the force out, and that's all I think they really wanted. The soldier's going to get juggled as well. It looks like Lego are going to try and make it work, but it would be a mistake if they kept going off this.
Yeah, they have an opportunity really to try and shove it in and maybe get a pick onto Kratos. They're just going to play the point though. That's so risky. They actually managed to get it. They just throw players on the point and juggle them off. That was absolutely, there was no DM involved in that whatsoever, and it could have gone so horrifically wrong for them if someone had jumped over the top or paused the cap in any way. But the juggling from those Lego players just stopped the Dogs team getting anywhere near the point, and they just go straight for the cap time, cap it off. 1-0 in favour of Lego.
We now see Dr. Phil getting pretty exposed and forced really deep early on in this middle. They're going to get the frag on Alfie underneath as well, and now Dr. Phil's got the health back. He's moving forward. Kratos catches a pipe. He's going to be forced back to choke. They're just moving across right now. The scout's getting all the cleanup. Is Molly Coco eyes on?
Yes, Molly Coco is eyes on. Yeah, they're playing with SweetStakes and eyes on for this, the two scouts. And eyes on really not quite at the level of the rest of the scouts, but SweetStakes has very good DM, potentially as good, maybe slightly better than Sheepy and Scrab. I'm not sure. I wouldn't rate him as a better scout overall, I don't think, than those two players. But in terms of sheer DM, I think he really does have something. And look at Alfie getting caught there, being spammed to pieces. Even the splash bug couldn't save him eventually. They do pick up the frag on that spy, and the Uber is coming in from the bottom area here, but they're still not gonna... Oh, they actually do manage to pick up Nation in the end, who was running that heavy, and he was so buffed. Hildred's going to be defending the last point with pipes and all sorts, but they're just rushing the point again here. 2-0 in favour of Lego. This is disastrous for Dogs.
What's happened to Dogs? What's happening today?
They've died. They need Spud, that's the thing. I think Spud does do a lot for their team, and the way that him and Hildreth play is a very contrasting style. I think it might be hurting them. It's not so much one good and one bad, it's one non-flashy, solid player and one superstar DM lord. Oh, Dr. Phil getting juggled up there and destroyed by Alfie, who hits the wall shot to finish off the Demoman, and Demol's in, sends Josh up for the slam dunk. Juggles the medic up there, and Josh slams him down.
Really nice cleanup again from Lego Scouts just at the end of it. Just you look at them, both full health, both plenty of health. Like when these sort of, when all the fighting's mainly done, all the heavies have spent all their ammo, and just a healthy scout can just really capitalize on those moments, and they've done it twice. Now they're quite far forward as well. SweetStakes will go down, but I'm not quite sure what he had in mind. But it did not work out, and we actually see Kratos on crits here. And I believe... Oh, they're both on crits.
Oh, it's the crits v crits. They won't be expecting the other team to be running crits at the exact same moment, I don't think. But it is Condom that has the slight Ubercharge or Kritzkrieg advantage here, but I think Kratos is going to have it in time because they've taken a bit too long to start to engage here. Josh is going to try and jump through the choke point, but they've got to be anticipating this, and the crits comes in. Is it going to take down anybody? Yes, actually the first casualty is Kratos, which means that crit, the crit power lasted much longer, but the collapse was just too strong from Dogs. Dogs played the whole situation much better, but yeah, if Kratos hadn't gone down as well, then that probably would have been perfect from Dogs. They would have been able to keep their med alive, they would have been able to get all of those frags with the Kritzkrieg as well, but we do see the medic switch back to Medigun there. Kratos is running the default, so I guess that gave them an opportunity to switch back to normal.
I really enjoyed how basically 6 people just stood at choke and ran at each other with crits during that, and everyone just died, but more Lego players died, so it was fine.
Yeah, the Lego players were all facing forwards into the choke point though. They were all really focused on the crits, and the Dogs players came behind them from Big Door as well and just sandwiched them in that area. SweetStakes is going to find a frag on the flank in Alfie, and maybe baiting Scrab in as well. SweetStakes is really chasing this one, and Demel's already got a frag onto Sheepy. This has put Kratos in a sticky situation. They've actually pushed through. I think they're going to attempt to go for the back cap, but it's never going to work. The mid still caps really quite quickly, and unless Alfie can work some magic blocking that against both of the scouts, then there's no hope for them. Alfie's going to try it, but SweetStakes and Izon are just too strong. It's so difficult to block against 2 scouts when they have the high ground, and they are just holding hands, running through this big door, attempting to chase down all of these respawning players who are in the lower area, and Josh is coming in and he's wrecking them. Yeah, that's
there's no reason to take that fight. Like Sheepy's just trying to buy time, just escort him out. It doesn't really matter too much if he dies, but I don't know why Kratos. You know what I mean? For like giving Sheepy an extra 65 health would mean he could take a 1v4.
Yeah, and they suffer dearly for making that decision here. They've got about a 60% advantage, Condom and the rest of Lego. They're going to move into a lobby, and oh, there's the headshot straight onto the demo man. That's going to open things up so much here for the aggressive Lego team. The double scout Uber is going to take care of that pyro in 2 seconds flat, and then they're going to focus down the other fragging classes as well. Their attention now on Alfie as the last player with any chance of blocking this, and it's a quick 3-0 from Lego. And look at Josh's dominations. He is doing so well on that roll.
Izon as well up now with 3. Really lots of cleanup, lots of frags, really strong from them. We're going to see Dr. Phil coming out choke, and it looks like Dogs actually want to take this fight straight to them. Hildreth playing on the enemy side of the low ground, wants to take it straight up. The soldiers have bombed, he's going to walk up now, and they've sort of pinned in Lego right now. They've got 2 frags, 3 frags, 4 frags. Really good from them. Condom's going to try and get out. He's 35 HP. Surely he's going to get caught by the demo man. He's been trapped in. It's just a matter of time now. And wow, oh my god, Izon just goes and kills the medic and the pocket.
Insane stuff by Izon. He really performing very well in this game. He just clutched that for his team, because if Kratos had stayed alive there, that's a round for them back on the board. But with both of the medics down, it really gives Lego a chance to stabilize either, well, they can even attempt to prod into lobby and put the pressure onto Dogs, but I think the more default strategy will just be to wait for the aggression coming out of the Dogs.tf squad here, the Danger Dogs, who are all holding in big door at the moment. There is a raffle going on as well, guys. If you type !raffle, you will be able to enter that on ScrapTF, courtesy of tf2pickup.net and whitelist.tf. Whitelist.tf have just added an I-55 page as well with all the weapons and things, the whitelist that is going to be run in that huge tournament. So if you're interested, if you're from America and you don't know what the whitelist is, take a look. You can expand your knowledge and get prepared. But look at this, Josh is really taking it to them here.
Wow.
Manages to take down Sheepy and Kratos. He's going to be able to get Nation as well. Josh timed that perfectly. He caught them snoozing, and that Uber charge did so much work.
There are two players stacking up a back cap here, but Phil's done a pretty good job locking it down, and Josh comes in to help him out from behind. Going to clean up both of those. And I think they got the soul. Yeah, they got everyone, and all the other Dogs players are back on mid. Uber disadvantage. They're holding super defensively. Interesting sticky trap from Hildreth. I guess we're going to attempt to bait people onto that trap. But double soldier spam just means Dogs can't even stay in there for too long. But it looks like they might want to push big door. They could get caught out here. I don't know. Condom standing dangerously close in this sticky trap. He's right behind it. I think he'll be okay. It is dead, but it was too far back. Hildreth still putting out damage though outside of that. Gets one of the soldiers weak, but doesn't actually do enough damage to hold on to big door. And they've not got the high ground either. It's going to be really difficult for them to hold. They do get one frag, but it costs them quite a bit of health. They're still trying to force this defense, Dogs. They've nearly got Uber. If they can just buy a bit more time on the point, they can maybe take this. They're putting out so much damage. Condom wants to hold it for last. And they do take it over, but now here comes Hildreth putting out so much damage and forces it in lobby. They try and move through. SweetStakes is going to meet up with his medic, get on the demo, but they still have an Uber in tow, and they will pop. Kratos is going to save all these players. One soldier's going to try and bait to point, but it's just a time-buying exercise from them all at this point.
Yeah, they did manage to get out. They don't really have any Uber advantage, but it's going to be difficult for Dogs to push out of this situation, given that SweetStakes is spawning in, well, just spawning now, and Demul is going to be on the field in less than 3 seconds. They're still going to attempt it anyway. They've got the frag on Josh. That's really going to open things up, but Condom gets a big 60 damage. Crossbow kill there onto Hildreth, and Scrabber Nation going down is going to open things up for Lego to secure a 4th round here. They're going to want to go very quickly before Kratos gets his Uber charge in about 12 seconds. They are going through the top right hand side with SweetStakes and Dr. Phil. They need to be able to get onto this. Isen's playing the point. They get the Uber charge. Kratos with a sword to get the Uber to then pop it off on the point. Fantastic play from the German medic. Just absolutely clutch saving that round, and they pick up the frags on Eisen and Condom. But Josh is in, and he's just stood still on 1 HP. He escapes. It's not a good play. It's so unlucky by Josh, but Kratos didn't see it coming.
This is typical of Kratos. Like, for every good play, there's a bad one just around the corner.
Yeah, well, he very luckily manages to escape that bad play, turning into a disastrous play for his team, and they're going to be able to push out and take control of second.
We see Demul on Sniper as well. We hit a headshot, but no frag was to be. But it is going to make this push pretty difficult for Dogs. It looks like they just want to try, they're going to run a scout through, just try and get some pressure, and it looks like they've actually sticky drop down as well. Nice play from Phil, combining well with a sniper, but it doesn't actually make any difference, and actually Kratos gets picked. I didn't see where that was from.
Yeah, that was a sticky trap around Choke that Dr. Phil that I think it was. It may have just been some synced up aggressive stickies, but Dr. Phil's given his life for it, and that's a nice shotgun by Nation to take down Demul as well on 7 HP. They've ended up just winning that fight by pure DM. Nation attempted to run away. I've no idea. He was off to Timbuktu or something, wasn't he? But Josh finishes off that frag, and he's trying to spam Scrab on the point. Hildreth is at risk of being pressured by SweetStakes here, but I think as they move this Kritzkrieg through Choke, Dogs.tf are gonna... Oh god, no, he couldn't quite get onto anybody else there after he'd taken down Sheepy, but it's another nice play by SweetStakes.
Oh wow, eyes on as well, just both scouts there from Dogs just getting absolutely beasted by their counterparts. Now we're going to see Lego coming in from the flank as well, powering through that tour. 2 frags on the combo. They're going to kill Alfie as well. Kratos has gotten away with 87% charge, which is important. But yeah, really strong from Lego, and they should be able to probably pressure them out of CP2. even though they don't have the Uber yet.
Yeah, they should be able to go forwards here. The forward spawns did not come in for Nation and Hildreth. They spawned all the way back on last, so Kratos and the rest of his team in no position to defend this, really. If they try and peek out this door, it's just going to end badly for them. Oh, but they crit! I didn't even realise it was a crit screen coming out here, but the Uber charge was already ready from Condom, and they've lost everyone here. Uber versus crits. It really isn't a fair fight, and Alfie and Hildreth are just going to get mulched as well. 4-0 to Lego.
It's getting kind of sad now.
It's so
like,
strange.
You know when something stops being kind of like funny, and it's just kind of like you just start to feel bad.
Yeah, Dogs.tf have just completely lost it here. They've let it get to their heads. Sheepy and Scrab and not having the dominant performance they'd like to do. Hildreth isn't having as much of an impact on the game, and it's just nothing is going their way. For this mid as well, they lose. Kratos and Hildreth instantly reply with 2 of their own, but everybody else is just getting cleaned up here. Nation has a mammoth task, but there's no way they're going to be able to do that. And again, it's Aizen and Sorek surviving with full health at the end of the mid-fight, and Dr. Phil on 1 HP.
Yeah, Phil survives, I think, more just by luck. But still, dominant mids overall. The only sort of saving grace is Dogs are getting the medic, like in these fights. The problem is, like, if the same was happening against TLR, like, TLR were playing well and everything, and they had good players, but Dogs can't string together more than 1 play at a time.
Yeah, for every good play, they're just throwing away another one. And look at it, they're trying to hold in the lobby door, but they're just not holding the positions properly. And they're getting destroyed here by Lego. Lego are just making this look too easy. Where was this Lego team in the Premiership season? 5-0 the score on Gullywash. All the people wanting Dogs to win at I-55 have got some thinking to do. The Dogs team has got some thinking to do. Hopefully, if they get Spud back in, which they will do for the LAN tournament, then they'll be slightly improved. But I really do think that they need to make massive improvements to the current level that they're playing at if they want to be able to compete with those top teams.
I mean, there's elements of DM kind of lacking, or not even lacking, but do you know what I mean? Just like scouts winning one-on-ones, you know, where it's maybe not like a particularly poor showing from a scout, but it's just all these things are going against them. And the positioning from the combo, like, that has nothing to do with Spud, really, as such. Like, when it is Nation and Kratos on their own, that wouldn't even really be much different than Spud. Like, I know Spud's quite heavy on comms, but I'm pretty sure he's not micromanaging his pocket and medic's position all the time. No, he
definitely isn't.
So that stuff would be happening either way. So, yeah, something needs to change.
Absolutely. Dogs can probably take it back, but given that that was their pick as well, it does not bode well. Lego have picked Viaduct Pro, now called Product, I think. So it's Product B8 that we're going on to now. A Nation asking, is this casted? It is. I am afraid, Nation. We saw your performance, son. Let's have a look at the logs, actually, and see if that gives us an insight onto what really went wrong for Dogs.tf.
I cannot find it. Bear with me.
Well, I think DavidTheWin has kindly posted them in the Mumble channel for us if you're struggling there. And Josh was phenomenal. He's the top fragger, he's the top damager, and he had a very low amount of deaths on top of that as well. He was playing a very, very, very good pocket role for Lego, and he completely outplayed Nation, in my opinion.
Low deaths all round, like Sorex and Eyes on 11 apiece, Phil 11, Condom on 8.
Whereas Scrab and Nation and Alfie topping the death. Scrab particularly having a dreadful game, 9 for 21, and doing less than 200 damage per minute from Scrab, and that's one of their star players. Like, he's if he's not on form, then they're really, really missing something. Dogs.tf. He's normally one of their carry players, along with the Sheepy as well. Sheepy did pretty well, went 21 for 14, was winning a lot of the fights that he went into, and was able to provide a bit of cleanup. But the Scrab was just sucking out that map for reasons unbeknownst to us.
We're going into a Viaduct as well, where like your scouts do need to be on point. You need not literally on point, you know what I mean? Like, they need to do that as well, but they need to be on point in terms of DM as well. Like, Especially, I imagine both teams, like Nation's they're all going to play, Josh and Nation, for pockets for both teams, are going to play like a second roamer. So it's going to be on the scouts, you know, to take the heals and do the cleanup. And
It's
if you're
interesting.
sucking out DM-wise, like, that could be a turning point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to look at the heal spread of Kratos and Condom as well, because it's much more balanced from the Lego side. The scouts are getting 3 or 4k heals each, and if you look at that on the Dogs.tf side, well, for starters, Kratos healed a significantly lower amount than Condom did, and got off less Ubers, etc. But he was dying more, obviously, and they were losing the team fight, so it's kind of to be expected. But the way that he spread his heals across the team, Scrab only got 8% of the heals and 1.7k heals overall. So whether he was just playing on the flank away from the heals and therefore putting himself in a disadvantageous circumstances again and again, or just whether he should be playing with the heals more, and that was the reason why he was sucking out, that he's playing around Kratos, but Kratos isn't giving him the heals, and so he's losing these fights. But when they play Viaduct, they need to change that up, because if they're not pumping heals into Scrab and Sheepy, they are going to lose this, I think.
Okay, I super duper need the toilet, so I will be right back.
Well, fantastic news. Keep us updated on how it all goes.
I'll live tweet the whole thing.
Live tweet the whole thing. We'd love it. We'd love it. So we're just about to be going into Lego versus Dogs on this second map. The interesting... Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys do it on Viaduct. The DM was vastly in favor of Lego, to be honest. It's not something that you would really expect coming into this, and it makes me really wish that Lego had put a LAN team together, because they were considering putting a LAN team together. They had Zen, Dr. Phil, who else did they have? Sorex, all geared up to play a LAN, and they were going to fill them with some other regulars, like the people that you see on your screen in front of you performing for your pleasure now. But they, in the end, have decided that they could not field a team. But Lego obviously do have the ability to play at this kind of level, and it's a pity that we won't see that at I-55. We'll have to make do with all the other fantastic teams. But yeah, Dogs definitely need to change something up, I think, to be able to compete at the level of TLR, Reason, Nerd Rage, Ascent, Froyotech. I mean, they have got to step it up massively from this performance. And if you add that onto the fact that they've never played at a LAN together before, and some of their players have never played at LAN before, people like Sheepy, I think Scrab as well, but I'm not sure about that, and some of the players are a little bit emotional, can maybe let it get to their heads a bit. I think they're going to be a team that struggles in a LAN environment unless they really put in the preparation beforehand.
Are we talking about chokes and not chokes?
Yeah, well, a bit of chokes and not chokes, but also just if they, because they are a very keen team, and if they put in the work, they could potentially cause an upset, I think, because when they're on their game, they play pretty well. I mean, they beat Reason when they had a much better roster on paper, but they were playing much better at that point. They aren't playing the same game now that they did in that game on Sunshine.
I reckon it's going to be an all or nothing kind of thing for Dogs. Like, they have some decent early results. Like, maybe not even necessarily wins, but, you know, decent performances, some close games against some of the top teams, and I reckon they'll cause an upset, like, probably even beat TLR. But if they get downtrodden, it's gonna go full tilt.
Full tilt, you say? Well, if they make it into the cup, the knockout stages of the cup tomorrow, they'll be playing against Full Tilt. But for now, they are taking on Lego here. It's Dogs versus Lego, and the first frag is onto Sheepy, and Demol's running that sniper rifle. They've got so much position here because everyone's afraid of peeking out from behind the rock, and Josh is in behind harassing them as well. The Dogs squad are not doing well here. Nation didn't hit any of his shots on sniper, and Josh chasing all the way to spawn, but Kratos takes him out with an Uber Saw to give himself 91% as well. But is he gonna? He's just staying to spawn.
That's a good play. So therefore,
yes,
the theory
they
should
always come in
dictate
pairs.
there's a bad play right around the corner, so...
Well, he does have an Uber charge. I mean, it's very possible that he could be dropping this one. We're going to watch him as he is walking up here. The Ubers are going to be equal. Kratos is going to be wandering into a sniper sightline fairly shortly as well. But they know that D-Mul is there. Dr. Phil is on top of him as well, and they have to pop that off. That's not a bad play by Kratos at all, though. He was about to take a huge sticky. The Ubers are traded, but Alfie and Scrap have both gone down, and they can't find that frag on D-Mul. Sheepy's still trying to harass them from behind, but in the meantime, all of LEGO going aggressive forwards. They're actually losing players here as well. Wasn't expecting this, and Kratos gets the frag on Sorex as well. The Dogs just ate up that aggression. They managed to really control that.
I think Kratos might have more frags than anyone else on his team right now. They're now forcing LEGO out, but some nice exit pipes from Phil to take down Scrab. And that's going to help protect his medic for now. And it looks like LEGO are going to reposition it straight away. They are pushing into the Nation on Sniper though. Obviously a different option they have with Nation on Pocket instead of QNX. They let LEGO in pretty far. No actual shots have been hit from either sniper. And LEGO are just taking this cap time for free. And they're even going to focus down Izon and Sorex combined, playing really tight. And the heals are just separated right now. Like, Nation will get Sorex, but there was no heals on the player that's actually trying to contest the point there from Dogs.
They've given themselves the bad spawns for both of those scouts, though, and they will not be in the fight at the end of this Uber charge, really. There is a big opportunity here for Dogs.tf to capitalize on, but Hildreth's the only one really forwards. Nation manages to find a frag on the Pocket, but they can't trap Condom in properly because they were a little too slow to move forwards. Izon gonna come in behind to try and find the frag on Alfie, but Alfie was a little too wily hiding there. He may get out. No, the mid-air headshot from D-Mul, and Sheepy is in onto Condom as well, just trying to make something happen. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going through Sheepy's head.
Clearly nothing. D-Mul is going to kill Nation, win the sniper fight, and that's going to open up some LEGO aggression. Sorex and Josh combine. They're now pressuring the medic all the way out here. Scout's trying to chase. Hildreth is desperately sticky in anything he can put his launcher on, and he will eventually kill Sorex just through, I don't know, just a numbers game there. You put enough stickies on the floor, something will work.
Absolutely. It's the only way that I know how to play Demoman. You just hope that people run onto your stickies, you don't aim them. It's a weird fight going on right here, though. Everyone trying to pressure down Josh so that the Uber charge is used on him, but he is now stuck deep in no man's land. Condom gonna get caught as well as him. He does find the frag on Hildreth. And D-Mul grabbing the third frag of his life there, and Kratos is going to pop his supercharge off, so now the aggression is going to come out of them. Scrab going to surely chase down Izon as well and try and get that frag. No, content just to sit on the point. But D-Mul's still running the sniper, and if he moves, he got a fully charged body shot on Alfie there as well. And he's completely controlling the positioning of Dogs.
Yeah, misses the fully charged shot, but I think they might get this soldier frag anyway. Dogs are trying to put the pressure on, but they're just losing people. Again, Nation loses the sniper duel for maybe the third, fourth time in a row. LEGO are going to keep going off that pick as well. We're going to get to D-Mul adds Kratos to his hit list. And they're just cleaning up the players one by one. Now there's two players, but they're in the same place, so mega easy to keep track of. And they're just going to have to wait for spawns now, Dogs.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a while until they are in a position to engage them again. I think they should really go for suicides because they know that Condom's Uber is going to be up. There's only 10 seconds remaining as well. I'm not looking at the timer. They have to commit to this. They have to, and Condom drops! Condom drops his Uber charge. That has just opened the door here for Dogs.tf. They're flooding onto the point. Kratos' Uber is nowhere near, but D-Mul's desperately trying to hit some crazy shots, and Dr. Phil's whipping out the pipes here. He's getting all of these sick frags. Oh, and in the end, the DM just too strong from LEGO, and they take the first round.
I'm trying to think, there's a joke somewhere in Condom dropping and something about safety first. I don't quite have a punchline yet, but
you can fill it in for yourself, viewers.
Yeah, like there's enough stuff there that it's almost a joke.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Nation is off sniper, much to the glee of probably everyone.
Oh, but look at that.
To go straight in on Condom. Yep, that's the most he's done in the sort of 12 seconds he's played Soldier. And his entire time as Sniper. But they do actually lose a bunch of bodies. They do have a heal advantage right now, but Hildreth and Sheepy will have to be careful here to look after Kratos. Hildreth's gone, Phil Even's gone super deep, will get it. Phil's still just pumping out pipes. Some really nice pipes from Phil today.
Yeah, he's hitting them left, right, and centre. Got a tasty one onto Kratos to drop him down. But Dogs going to win that in the end. There's going to be an Uber advantage from Condom, but I wouldn't expect the Ubers to really come into it at all just yet. They have an opportunity just to dry push here, and that is the correct play. Just try and play the point, win a team fight. But there's Demul helping them out by doming Alfie, and again they're playing so scared against this sniper.
The thing, like, they're losing one player's overextending for Lord knows what reason, and then as soon as that happens, Demul gets a lot more space. If Demul hits a shot, Nat's for holdover, basically, you know, 6 versus 4. And it just keeps happening, and it's gifting so much time to Lego, and they're just taking full advantage of it.
Yep, absolutely, they're playing the clock much better. Hildreth jumps in and gets piped by Dr. Phil, and the suicide wave is just abysmal. None of them put a single point of damage onto Condom there. They were just flying in at all random angles. Phil's pipe was lovely onto Hildreth, but they really need to do a lot better than that, Dogs.tf, if they want to be able to force out Condom. In fact, though, now it is Uber v Uber, so they're not going to be going for any force plays. They're just going to try and trade the Ubers across the point, maybe work some picks over on that left-hand side, but they either have to play very aggressively and maybe pick the sniper in the Uber, or they're going to be incredibly scared and pop in when they shouldn't need to. The Uber charge actually comes out of Josh and Condom first, and a nice air shot, but just knocks Hildreth back onto China. So not quite what Josh was going for. They have lost Alfie and Scrab, but it's in exchange for their demo man and carry scout, so things not looking good here for Lego. They have that spawn disadvantage as well. Now is the time for Dogs to tighten the noose. They need to catch these players on the cliff. Again, they're not capitalizing on that situation. Yes, they are. Sheepy comes in, takes down Condom, and takes down Demul.
Oh, sorry. Just absolutely beast-moded both players now. He's still surviving on 9 HP with his pistol out as well. Hungry for more. Lego are going to get those quicker respawns in as well. And those 2 picks from Sorex will probably open up a repush as soon as the numbers are there.
Yeah, they're going to be looking towards going for that. They've got the much better respawns. Dr. Phil just starting to respawn now, and the players from Dogs.tf all positioned backwards on that hill. Both of the teams running a sniper at the moment. Demul's nearly had a little angle there onto somebody, but Nation still playing from China. But look at Sorex. Sorex is in behind, and he's giving away his position, but they're just trying to get down Hildreth. They managed to get him, and here comes the collapse. But Alfie doing a decent job. Eisen comes in and takes down the medic, and it's only Condom and Demul left alive. Demul's going to be hard-pressed to defend his medic here, but he's actually doing the job perfectly. Just using the no-scope body shots and a little bit of SMG to pressure back both of the scouts.
Yeah, the scout just seemed really timid. Didn't fancy it. I think it was probably worth the risk. Like, even if he gets sliced and the medic gets Uber, he's going to have Uber anyway, so you might as well go balls to the wall for it.
Yeah, very meek play there from Sheepy.
Yeah, it's sort of definitive of Dogs' play the entire time. I hear a headshot ring off as well, but they're just going to pop in here, Lego. Chasing out Kratos. He's only 40% in house. He's behind Phil. Phil doesn't know, but he will turn around and pipe him. They've got frags on the soldiers as well. Foulness is going out. Their scouts are still trying to force their way in. Nice damage from Scrap. The second scout's coming in as well, but they all get cleaned up again. Dr. Phil, just constant pipe damage from him.
Absolutely, he's performing very well. He's performing better than Hildreth has on this map. Hildreth was performing well earlier today when we saw him, but just not meshing with this Dogs team, I don't think. Nation utterly whiffs a jump, and Alfie has taken so much damage here as well. They're just trying to get onto the medic, I think, or possibly onto the sniper, something. I don't know what Dogs' overall plan is.
At this point.
Yeah, well, they haven't put any damage onto Condom. Condom just juking around, but they're starting to get the frags now. They've put them in a bit of a bad position, but his Demul to get a frag onto the scout, so suddenly Dogs.tf don't look like they're in such a good position with those later spawns and the Uber charge in their face.
Yeah, they're going to clean it up and they're going to push forward as well, trying to get more frags, but I think... No, he's not. Izon runs in as well, gets one soldier, but they're still running into that tiny corridor, trading bodies, but they get the important pick. And yeah, they've equalised the Ubers.
They've managed to equalise the Ubers and the heal situation, but Dogs are going to get those much faster respawns, so this is their opportunity just to go balls to the wall and take this forward. That's exactly what they're doing as Nation and Alfie jump in, but Nation takes a fully charged body shot and then just a normal no-scope, and he's out for the count. Demul's putting so much pressure on the Dogs team. He's
Look how much room
dictating.
he has.
Yeah, he's utterly dictating where they are, and I thought Dogs would counter this by playing very aggressively into the enemy team, but they are doing the exact opposite, and it's not working for them.
Yeah, they're really being punished hard. Like, Demul's not doing like anything like crazy insane, but because he's got so much room, he's just got plenty of time to just he gets like 1-2 headshots every push, and that's all you really need. If you can do that every push, you're going to win the vast majority of pushes.
Absolutely, yes, you are, and yeah, Demul's sniping is forcing the Dogs team to spend most of their time hiding in very predictable situations where they're eating a lot of spam, where they can't engage properly, they can't distract. So Demul's doing a lot for the team here, even though he's not hitting any crazy shots. Yeah, Alfie messes up his jump and isn't able to properly connect with the rest of the players. They're on 1 HP behind them now, but there is a bit of pressure from the scouts forward. Sheepy and Hildreth are both going to die though, and there's the collapse from everybody else. Nobody going to be able to get anything done. Nation respawns on Sniper. No, decided to switch back to Soldier, so they're just going for the default strategy. I think they'll go for the suicide play now, although they could just commit their medic to it as well, given that he's just respawned.
Yeah, well, I think Izon's looks pretty good. Both maps.
Izon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has. He's been playing really well. He's been playing safely. He's just supported Sorex perfectly. Been getting heals exactly when he needed to. And here comes another Uber charge where Josh is just destroying these players that have gone aggressive. But that is exactly what the Dogs team were going for. This time they did actually manage to get onto Condom, knocking down to fairly weak health and force out the Uber. So that's mission achieved essentially for Dogs. Now
pretty
they just have to,
as well.
Yeah, now they just have to think about the point, because even though that didn't go too badly, they've still managed to knock a full minute. That's a third of the time just off the mid-fight.
Yeah, they've got Demul scoping up. A bit of an odd position for Demul. We don't see snipers always generally taking that position, and he will be forced out. And this might allow the rest of the Dogs team to get in pretty free. So I'm just going to try and go deep on him as well, but Alfie will get picked off. And I hear a headshot go off on the Demo Man. Hildreth down to low health. They're walking in with a heavy, and they are forced to pop, but they can't really chase down for that heavy. And Hildreth is low on health, so he can't go too deep either. He's going to have to just stay with the Uber and get healed up. And yeah, comfortable for Lego there. They got the force, they didn't have to try that hard, they didn't have to lose too many people. And they can now pretty much repush straight away, but they do have a forward hold to deal with. Hildreth is going to get caught out, the Heavy wasn't quite in position, and they Uber out. Headshot comes out as well. The Heavy's super low, he'll go down, and wow, they just catch Dogs absolutely napping. They're probably going to get all the frags here. They're really pressuring that Soldier as well. He's down to 20 HP, the Scout's trying to go close, but he catches a 100 damage rocket. Izon can't finish the frag, and the combo just about get out there from Dogs.
Sorex really wants to chase some of these players back into the spawn. Takes a lot of damage. He's going to take another 1v1. Yeah, and eventually comes out on the wrong end of it, so they're down one player. Giving up, oh, nice airshot from Nation onto Josh to take him out, and this aggression from Dogs is exactly what we've been looking for the entire time. Nation bombing in, the juggles Dr. Phillip, and I think Sheepy's going to be able to finish that frag. Yeah, he manages to get it. They couldn't find Condom, though. They didn't have to use their Uber charge, so it's not a bad situation at all for Dogs to be in, but they need to start getting that cap time, and they need to be wary that Condom's coming in with an Uber charge for Lego.
Yeah, I don't think they want to hold forward. They didn't take any sort of aggressive position early on, but again, now they're stuck in a situation of holding really far back versus a sniper, and we see Alfie go super deep, but there's no real pressure from the other side. It's easy for Lego to just turn around and say, okay, we'll focus down this one soldier who's only got 3 rockets, and then we'll just move forward as a team with space for our sniper. Look how defensive Dog's positioning is now. They're going to have to Uber in to block this. Was that a headshot as well onto the soldier? Being a butt heads with these Ubers. Loose grab in the process. Kratos is maybe too deep. He's going to get so much pressure after this Uber. He surfs up top though. Great escape there, and he's going to allow his team to re-push with the heals. But there is now a scout behind. Izon gets 1. And they're just pinned back here the entire time this fight's been going on. Dogs have had 0 point presence and 0 cap time. They now come forward. Hildreth gets the damage, and they suddenly find all 4 frags. Yeah, they turn that around. Yeah,
they managed to get
worked
that.
out surprisingly well.
And Kratos' movement was spot on there when everybody was trying to get onto him. He was juking and diving, and managed to stay alive throughout the entirety of that, so that gives them a tasty Ubercharge advantage as well as giving them all the heals. And look, they're just going 6 men through the same choke point here, Lego. They're really trying to push out of that right hand side, and there was nothing the Dogs could do to keep them penned in. Hildreth wasn't there with his sticky traps and vast amounts of damage, and they just could not stem the tide. But Kratos is going to have his Ubercharge up. I would be surprised if they allow them to really take this point. They surely want to block it. No, they're not quick enough. And Kratos gets juggled. This Ubercharge is not getting anywhere, I don't think. They actually managed to find the pocket frag, and they're going to get the point. But the repush from Condom is going to be coming momentarily.
They're trying to hold forward. They're not too quick about it, though. But they have got the soldier and demo spam. But they can't quite get control of it, but they have got the frag sort of 4 for 4. They pinned them back. Demul's still trying to muscle his way out, but there's now a soldier behind. The Uber is forced. Josh has nothing loaded. The Uber's been popped on a sniper and a soldier. And Dogs can just walk away from this. No, they can't! Kratos gets domed on the way out, and there was only 2 other players left alive. So they should be cleaned up pretty easily. Demul claims another one. There's now a soldier behind. He's launched super high in the air. Condom's so low, he can't reload a rocket to kill him. But Sheepy comes in to finish the frag for him. It's now just a DM fest on point. Hildreth doing an amazing amount of work right now. He's got respawns coming in as well. He's still trying to fight this point. The soldier's on top of him now. He meets up with Kratos, his medic. The soldier has nothing loaded. I don't know what Josh's plan was there. Pull out melee and pray for a miracle.
Give him the old escape plan in the face. Dig the pickaxe into Kratos' forehead.
The escape plan bomb.
Yeah, the classic, the staple of any good roaming soldier, the escape plan bomb. But
if you can't bomb and kill both the demo and the medic with just your melee, you shouldn't even play Roma.
Yeah, it's just it's a classic. It's an absolute classic. But look at the time on the point right now. It's ticking down, so there's really only 8 seconds for both of the teams. But the team in control of the point right now is Dogs.tf, and as the announcer lady ticks it down, the spawners are going to be coming in faster here for Lego, but they're losing this fight, and they need the cap time on the point, otherwise they're going to have a real struggle. They actually lose Condom to a bomb by Nation, and they're going to be able to block the point, but all of these spawners are going to be coming in for Lego. They're going to be able to have time for another push, I think, if Sorix can just tickle this point a little bit. Isaac comes in to try and help them out. Here comes Dr. Phil. They're all getting onto the point here. Only 8 seconds left for them, but all Dogs have to do is cap the point once, and now the spawns are going the other way. They just need some cap time. They need anything here for Dogs. They need to be able to touch the point, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it. Condom, eyes on just jumping on there, and the score 3-0 at the end of it. Dogs just could not put up a fight.
Yeah, like that last round, Dogs put up a fight. It's a shame it just took them, this is their 4th map tonight, and 3 rounds in to actually get to a competitive stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the last round, it was definitely down to the wire, but the other 2 rounds were really not even close. I mean, Lego were in complete control of everything that was going on. D-Mul on Sniper was doing so much work for them, and they seemed to be the better DM team as well as being more cohesive and coordinated.
Yeah, Demul 22 for 6 on Sniper.
Yeah, really just popping the team on his back there as well. But it wasn't just the frags, was it? It was how he was getting into the heads of Dogs.
Yeah, how he was forcing them to play. Look at the stats from Nation and Alfie. Putting up the least damage, the least frags, just really pinned back. And they're just not putting out enough. The only person who got decent damage was Hildreth, and that's just not. There's, you know what I mean? There's no pressure there, and that's why they had so much room. And that's why you look at Sorex and Izon's KD, and it's so much better.
It's fantastically better. Sorex and Izon's KD and the damage that they're putting out is so much better than Sheepy and Scrab. Sheepy and Scrab could not get a foothold in the game because the rest of their team wasn't going forwards with them. If they had all just tried to go aggressive in certain situations, yes, you might lose 1 to D-Mul, but as long as the rest of you push forwards, he shouldn't be able to get really more than 1, and he's an easier frag once you get down and dirty in that kind of team fight situation. And for him to go 24 and only die 7 times, less than anyone else on the server, literally the least deaths on the server for their sniper, just shows that they were just not able to deal with him in the slightest. He got 18 headshots as well.
They didn't even make it hard for him. It'd be one thing if Demul just had the world's most outrageous game, right? And just hit all these close range headshots. But he's just got the time to stand there. Like, look at his damage taken, 3k. But he's barely even getting spammed. They're just kind of trying to avoid his position, and they're stopping him going wild with headshots. No more than a couple of push, but still he's getting a couple of push, and he's completely compromising your positioning.
Yeah, and Sorex and Izon did very, very well. They were cleaning up all of the frags, getting in, and being able to DM with the best of them there. I say with the best of them. Dogs didn't look like the best of them.
Nation got 3 headshots in 6 minutes?
3 headshots in 6 minutes. That's
Sniper,
pretty dreadful, to be
minutes.
honest. It wasn't working out for Nation whatsoever, running that counter snipe, or even sniping in general. It just wasn't working at all for them. So it's LEGO who move forwards onto the knockout section of the tournament, which is happening tomorrow. So you guys can catch us tomorrow at 17 CET, where we will be beginning the double elimination knockout stage of this tournament. The teams are going to be arranged for the first round as Full Tilt against TLR and Reason against LEGO. So Full Tilt against TLR will be the one on the main channel, because I think potentially the Reason LEGO game could be fairly one-sided. Am I discounting them? Am I being rude, CommanderX?
No.
No.
Not really.
No. I think there's between Reason, TLR, and Full Tilt, it will be incredibly interesting to see how they end up going through the tournament. Though it'll be really, really interesting, very tense, and there's guaranteed to be some fantastic TF2. So catch us tomorrow on Team Fortress TV and Team Fortress TV 2 to see who can be the victors of the Gimmicks, Guts, and Glory Cup, powered by ZOWIE and SweetStakes.tf. There will be more viewer raffles and things. The raffle is still open. It's there for another 10 minutes as well, guys. So make sure you enter into that. And we will have more for you tomorrow as well, with some Steam games along with some more prizes. So tune in to see who manages to make it all the way through that double elim bracket. And see if Kade has found his chicken.
He found his chicken!
Did he find his chicken? Where was the chicken?
It's under a hedge. He says, I can't get to it at the moment, but it's there.
Oh, he found it, but he can't get to it.
And then Salentus comes in with, what is this chicken meme? Have I missed something?
It's not a serious conversation
about chickens. It's a genuine thing.
It's a genuine dilemma, a lost chicken. Okay, so we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tune in for more quality Team Fortress 2 action. We'll see you tomorrow.